Chapter 1. Deities have a WeChat group. Inching Polytechnic University. There was a mulberry forest in the second campus of the school. The mulberry trees were planted to make the environment green, but after generations of students, it gradually became a place for students to date. Even from far away, one could smell the scent of love in the air. I bought the lemon juice you like. Yizichin held 2 cups of lemon juice that he just bought from the cold drink store in the school. Like the other university students, he had a girlfriend. The reason he came here was because his girlfriend called him. Under the endless disdain of his roommates, he ran down the dorm excitedly and bought cold drinks. However, clatter. The lemon juice in his hand fell onto the ground. Yizichin looked at the smiling girl in front of him in shock. She was the girlfriend that caused his roommates to be jealous of, but right now, she was holding onto a man's arm. Yizichin couldn't believe everything he saw. The smiling girl revealed a hint of disdain. Yizichin, let's break up? Yizichin, let's break up. We're not compatible. With that, a sweetness that was completely different from the disdain from before surfaced on her face. She hugged Guochang's shoulders tightly and smiled. Yizichin, let's break up. Guochang, my boyfriend. Guochang, the president of the school's taekwondo club. He came from a rich family. It was said that his father opened a chemical factory, so he always drove a BMW X Series to and from school. He's your boyfriend? I think he's just average. Guochang looked at Yizichin with disdain. The clothes on him didn't even add up to 1,000 yuan, causing him to be unable to raise his guard. Hugged Guochang's arm tightly and nodded in agreement. Yeah, actually, I'm just fooling around with him. Changji is my true love. Guochang clearly enjoyed everything in front of him. He casually took out several thousand yuan from his pocket and chucked it to Yizichin. Take this and buy some good clothes. You need to have the capital to pick up girls. Guochang smiled arrogantly, then hooked his arm around Yao Yu's waist and walked toward the hotel outside the school. Ever since Yizichin saw Yao Yu, he had been lying on the bed with a blanket covering his head. Everyone in the dorm knew about his situation. They wanted to comfort him, but they didn't know how to. Lao Wu, get up. We're going out to eat. Kong Peng tugged at Yizichin's blanket, but Yizichin did not react at all. Forget it. Old Five is in a bad mood. Let's go out and bring it back for him. The few people in the dormitory sighed and left the dormitory. The entire dormitory became empty. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Yizichin's phone suddenly rang. He, who was lying on the bed, immediately pushed aside the blanket and picked up his phone. He thought that it was Yao Yu who had sent him a message, but when he opened WeChat, he saw that someone had added him into the group. Are you crazy? Yizichin cursed silently. Just as he was about to leave the group, he was attracted by the names in the group. Tai Bai Jinxing, God of Fortune, Kitchen God, Erlang God, Big Dipper Star Lord, Taishang Laojun. What the hell were these weirdos? That was the only thought in Yizichin's mind. But why wasn't anyone in the group talking? Ding dong. A red packet suddenly appeared in the group. The person who sent the red packet was Tai Bai Jinxing. Yizichin clicked on it for some reason. He was too slow, and the red envelopes were all snatched. F***CK. Isn't this group a dead group? Yizichin casually clicked on Look at Everyone's Luck, then instantly lost his calm. A total of 66 red envelopes were all gone in an instant. However, the things snatched caused Yizichin to be a bit shocked. Cultivation experience, what was this for? God of Thunder, who was the luckiest, snatched a total of 1,000 cultivation experience. Could it be money? If it was 1,000 yuan, then that would be a huge red packet. I didn't expect a rich person group to come. Yizichin felt a bit of anticipation towards the group. At that moment, the people in the group exploded. Big Dipper Star Lord, God of Thunder, you lurk and don't show up every day, and I don't see you send red packets. Why are you always faster than everyone else? God of Thunder, sorry, my luck was too good. 3 shy emojis followed. Erlang God, F***CK, lousy just walked the dog, and you guys snatched all the red packets. Geezer Tai Bai is so generous, but Lousy doesn't care about that stuff. Can someone send some money? Lousy's dog has been hungry for several days. Kitchen God. Then you have to find the God of Fortune. He's a rich person. Big Dipper Star Lord. Wait for the rich person to spread his wealth. Erlang God. God of Fortune, don't pretend to be dead. I know you're looking at the group. God of Fortune, the rich person would starve to death if you guys scammed him like this. 3 disdainful emojis. Erlang God. Then are you going to send it or not? If not, then my dog is going to stay at your house. God of Fortune. Send, send, send. Ding dong. Another huge red packet appeared on the screen. Yi Zichen immediately clicked on it the moment it appeared. Ding. His phone vibrated, causing Yi Zichen's shoulders to shake as well. 10 ingots. What the hell is this? Just as Yi Zichen was curious about what an ingot was, the WeChat group exploded once again. Everyone praised the God of Fortune for being generous, while Erlang God was the only one who acted like a bad person. Erlang God. F*CK. God of Fortune. Can you deduct some more? God of Fortune. Erlang God of Fortune. Who can you blame? Monkey King. Haha, my son. Do you want Grandpa's son to transfer some to you? Erlang God. Damn monkey, you're asking for a beating. Under the influence of curiosity, Yi Zichen clicked on everyone's luck to take a look and noticed that Erlang God had only snatched 1 ingot. All the deities in the group started to argue after Erlang God started it. Yi Zichen ignored them. He was just curious about what this ingot was. Yi Zichen opened his wallet and noticed that there was an additional treasure chest function in it. Yi Zichen clicked on the treasure chest and saw a shiny gold ingot inside. Withdraw. Ding. Would you like to withdraw the God of Fortune's gold ingot? The exchange rate is 1 gold ingot is 10,000 yuan. 10,000. Yi Zichen was shocked. If this was real, then didn't that mean that he just snatched 100,000? F*CK, it's a lie, right? Yi Zichen clicked withdraw with trembling hands. Not long later, a withdrawal progress notification appeared on his WeChat. It's actually real. Before Yi Zichen could react, another withdrawal progress notification appeared. The change was received into his account, and he withdrew 100,000 yen in cash. Withdrawal Bank, Industrial Bank, 9467, F*CK. Yi Zichen immediately dialed the bank's number without thinking and checked his balance according to the notification. Current available balance, 100003. 59 renminbi. Slap. His phone fell onto the bed from his hand. Real money. Yi Zichen trembled. All of a sudden, the scene of Guo Chang throwing several thousand yuan at him appeared in front of his eyes. Then, he quickly put on his shoes and ran out of the dorm like a madman with his bank card. Chapter 2. Does it feel good to throw money at you? Yao Yu, I want to see you. Yi Zichen held his suitcase and stood outside the female dormitory. We don't have anything to do with each other anymore. Can you not? Brother Chang, stop messing around. The sound of breathing caused Yi Zichen's expression to turn terrifyingly dark. However, when he took a glance at the suitcase, a smile surfaced on his face once again. One last time, I want to give you a present. Wait for a while. After half an hour, Yi Zichen finally saw Yao Yu walk out of the girls' dormitory. Looking at Yao Yu's flushed face, it seemed that the two of them had just had fun. For some reason, Yi Zichen felt like he was so stupid. After dating her for half a year, he didn't even dare to hold Yao Yu's hand. His roommates scolded him for being a coward, but he replied with a smile that it was true love. True love. True love. What true love? What's wrong? You don't think Brother Chang's money is enough, so you want to ask for a breakup fee? Yao Yu smiled disdainfully, then took out a card from her wallet and chucked it towards Yi Zichen. The card fell onto the ground with a heart-shattering sound. Here's 10,000. Brother Chang told you to stay away from me in the future. Yi Zichen, who stood on the spot without moving, suddenly laughed. He picked up the bank card from the ground playfully and played with it a few times, then threw it at Yao Yu's face. So what if you have money? I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. Yao Yu cursed with a dark expression. However, halfway through her sentence, she saw Yi Zichen open his suitcase. 2 boxes full of money. However, there was still a bit of a problem with the money. Yi Zichen had specially gone to the funeral shop to buy the underworld money for 20,000 yuan. You think he's King rich? Yi Zichen opened his eyes wide, then casually took out a few stacks of money from a box and chucked it at Yao Yu's face. Yao Yu was stunned the moment Yi Zichen opened the box. Stacks of money were thrown at Yao Yu's face. The surrounding students formed a circle and watched the scene in front of them. They had never seen anyone use money to smash someone. For some reason, he wondered which family's young master Yi Zichen was for him to be so overbearing. Quite a few girls had already memorized Yi Zichen's face in their hearts and were thinking about when they could run into him by chance. Do you like money? Is it satisfying to be smashed by money? What's that? Yi Zichen poured the money in the box onto Yao Yu's head, then turned around to leave with a cold expression. When the students of the academy saw the money all over the ground, they immediately started fighting over it. Yao Yu also regained her senses at this moment and shouted at the surrounding students. "Don't move, this is my money." All of Yi Zichen's roommates returned after eating. There was even a box of food on the table, which they had brought for Yi Zichen. Why can't I get through to fifth brother? Did he commit suicide? Zhu Yunbai was the youngest in the dormitory, so he spoke without thinking and spoke without thinking. Kong Peng raised his hand and knocked him on the head. Why don't you King wish for something better? What Six Bros said is possible. It's not like you guys don't know Fifth Bro's personality. Don't think that he's usually cheerful, but his feelings for Yao Yu are real. Bai Yu frowned and sighed. Everyone else in the dorm fell silent. Should we call the police? Zhu Yunbai asked. Kong Peng pondered for a moment and nodded. Call the police. Wait a moment. Look at what this is. Just as everyone was about to call the police, breaking news, Zhang Rei, who was on the upper bunk, suddenly poked his head out. He was third bro in the dorm. He always wore glasses without lenses to act like a gentleman. However, he was the most introverted person in the dorm, as well as the one who cared about the school gossip the most. What happened? Kong Peng and company came over when they heard the news. Zhang Rui pointed at the title on his phone. Did you see that? A tyrannical rich second generation appeared in the school, using money to smash people in the girls' dorm. Yi Zichen was shocked when he heard that. Wasn't that talking about him? Why did he get onto the school gossip forum? CK. He really used money to smash people. This bastard is too cocky. Zhu Yunbai roared and cursed. Lousy looks down on this sort of rich second generation the most. The surrounding people also nodded in agreement. The people in the dorm were all from normal families. They hated second generations who used their parents' money to act like their eggs the most. What rich second generation? Look at the person in the photo. Only then did everyone notice the person in the photo. All of a sudden, the dorm became terrifyingly silent. This seems to be fifth bro. Zhu Yunbai gulped. It really seems to be fifth bro. You don't say, really? Crack. Yi Zichen, who used money to smash people, also walked in from the dorm in a relaxed manner. The moment he entered the room, everyone surrounded Yi Zichen as if he was a rare animal. Zhang Rui also jumped down from the bed and looked at the phone carefully. OL5, the person in here is you, right? Hearing that, Yi Zichen took the phone over. When he saw the eye-catching title, he couldn't help but shake his head with a wry smile. What rich second generation would I King through his underworld money? Underworld money? Then why is there a group of people snatching money in the photo? It was custom-made. It cost me a lot of money. The people in the dorm exploded once again. OL5, you sure are vicious. Bai gave Yi Zichen a thumbs up. Using underworld money to smash people was very unlucky. This brat didn't think that the normally quiet brat would actually be so bad. Yi Zichen ignored them and walked to the side of the bed to take out his phone. He scrolled to the WeChat group full of deities. The battle between Erlang Shun and the Monkey King had already stopped, and the deities were all talking about how much cultivation experience they earned last month and what they were going to face this month. Yi Zichen had already felt how amazing Ingot was. He wasn't an idiot. If he still couldn't feel how special this group was, then he would just bang his head and die. Could it really be a group of great deities? Although this matter seemed a little unbelievable, it had indeed happened to him. Yi Zichen touched the bank card in his pocket as he listened to the praises of his bros in the dorm. Quiet down. The people in the dorm instantly quieted down. Yi Zichen raised the bank card in his hand and smiled. In order to celebrate me successfully becoming single once again, I'll treat everyone to a latte. Complete silence. Everyone in the dorm looked at him as if they were looking at a retard, causing Yi Zichen to feel goosebumps. Why are you guys looking at me like that? Yeezy, when have you ever treated us to a meal? It's good enough that you don't freeload for food every day. I can't be hearing things, right? Bai said in disbelief. I feel like fifth bro has gone crazy. Zhu Yunbai also shrunk his neck. OL5, we know that you're in a bad mood after being heartbroken, but there's no need to say something crazy like that, right? The cost of a latte is at least several tens of thousands, right? As the big bro in the dorm, Kong Peng spoke more rationally. I'm just asking you guys if you're going or not. Yi Zichen replied firmly. Go. Everyone in the dorm replied in unison. F*CK, wouldn't it be stupid not to go when someone is treating? Chapter 3. Taishang Laojuan's Great Return Pill Latte Business Club. Yi Zichen's roommates sat in a medium-sized room. The expensive prices were not something students like them could afford. Even though Kong Peng and company had already been frugal, this table still cost more than 50,000. I don't know where third bro went. He didn't even pick up the phone. That kid, Kong Peng shook his head and sighed. His third brother's real name was Su Ian. He was a second-generation rich kid and the most unrestrained one in the dormitory. The main thing was that he had a good father. He didn't go to school and only knew how to fool around outside. Although he was the second generation of a rich family, he had a good relationship with the people in the dormitory. He did not have the temperament of a spoiled brat. His only weakness was that he was stingy. It could be said that Yi Zichen paid no attention to the outside world and only wanted to snatch the red packets. It had to be said that the speed at which this group of immortals snatched red packets was really fast. Many great immortals had sent red packets in process, but he did not even get a single one, especially when the fairy in charge of the Immortal Peach Garden sent him a red packet. The red packet contained the immortal peaches of the Immortal Peach Garden. Yi Zichen was too slow and didn't manage to grab it. He couldn't help but beat his chest in frustration. At this moment, Old Lord Taishang suddenly popped up in the group. Old Lord Taishang, fellow immortals, how have you been? Absolute silence. Old Lord Taishang, ahem, you guys seem to be having a good time chatting. Why are you all lurking as soon as I come out? Followed by 3 awkward emojis. Monkey King, I old son am here. Who dares to talk to you? Let me tell you, old man, I still remember the grudge of you refining old son. Old Lord Taishang, Wild Monkey, you're still holding a grudge after so long. Erlang Shun, ignore that damned monkey. Monkey King, my son, is your dog starving to death? All of a sudden, a deity war began once again, causing Yi Zichen to chuckle to himself. Fifth bro, what are you doing? Zhu Yunbai walked over. Yi Zichen had been playing with his phone ever since he entered the room. That's right. Old 5, I'm here to play. Can you stop fiddling with your broken phone? What do you know? I'm snatching red packets. His roommates looked at him in disdain. Damn it. He had already given out tens of thousands of yuan, and he was still snatching red packets. Ding dong. Just as Monkey King and Erlang Shun were arguing, a huge red packet suddenly appeared in the group. The person who sent the red packet was Old Lord Taishang. Yi Zichen reacted quickly and rushed forward to snatch it. Great Recover Pill X1. Erlang Shun, fuck, lousy didn't get again. Monkey King, my son, you deserve it. What sort of person was the Monkey King? He was an existence that could produce tens of thousands of monkeys just by plucking a single strand of monkey hair. While he was arguing with Erlang Shun, there might be tens of thousands of monkeys holding their phones, ready to snatch red packets. The enmity between the two of them could be said to have existed for thousands of years. Both of them were war gods of the immortal world, and neither of them dared to step forward to stop the fight. Yi Zichen didn't have the time to watch them fight. He clicked open the treasure chest and saw a black pill lying there. Great Recovery Pill. Old Lord Taishang refined it for fun. Tisk, Old Lord Taishang is too petty. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes, but when he saw the effects, he was stunned. Effect: able to revive a dying person. Immortals were indeed generous. They could save a life just by casually refining it for fun. What was the most important thing in life? It wasn't money, it wasn't power, it was life. What was the use of having money and power if you lost your life? Haven't you heard of the saying? The greatest sorrow in life was losing people and not being able to finish spending money? OL5, don't F asterisk king fight over it. Drink a few cups with your bro. Kong Peng also walked over with a wine glass. Yizichin thought about how he got quite a lot today. What's more, he came here to play with his bros, so he put away his phone and drank with his roommates. After 3 rounds of drinking, they couldn't hold it in anymore with their stomachs full of water, so they walked towards the washroom in groups. Why are you guys here? The moment they entered the washroom, Yizichin and company saw OL3, Su Iyun, taking a piss. F asterisk CK. Lousy was looking for you. You actually F asterisk king hid here. Are you scared that we'll make you treat us? Kong Peng hooked his arm around Su Iyun's neck, while the surrounding people also smiled naughtily. Su Iyun scratched his head awkwardly. To be honest, that was indeed the case. Fisk, I'm telling you, we won't screw you over anymore. We have 5th bro, Zhu Yunbai snickered. Su Yun was just curious about why they came here. Hearing OL6 words, Su Yun asked in surprise. OL5, what's going on? You won the lottery? More or less. Yizichin answered ambiguously. Good brat. I didn't think that you'd be so stupid after getting swindled for so long. After chatting a bit more, Su Yun looked at the time. All right, bros, keep playing. I came with my dad to treat us. I still have to go back and accompany him, so I'll be leaving first. See you guys. Everyone laughed softly. At that moment, a hurried figure ran over from outside the washroom. He whispered a few words beside Su Iyun's ear, causing Su Iyun's expression to drastically change. Yizichin and company raised their eyebrows when they saw that person quickly leave. Something happened to OL3, right? How about we go over and take a look? Don't go. He's treating us. What's the point of going over? But something seems to have happened to 3rd bro. OL5, what do you think? Everyone looked towards Yizichin. At that moment, he seemed to have become everyone's pillar of support. Let's go take a look. Did you bring the medicine for Chief Lu's heart attack? The room was in a mess, while the man sitting in the center revealed an expression of pain. I didn't. Then hurry up and call an ambulance. At that moment, Yizichin and company also appeared in the room. A man who was practically carved out of the same mold as Su Iyun frowned. Who are you guys? Dad, they're my classmates. Su Iyun was also shocked. He quickly walked beside Yizichin and company and raised his eyebrows. What did you guys come for? I felt like you got into trouble just now, so we came over to take a look. Kong Peng frowned, then raised his eyebrows towards the man on the sofa. What's the situation? Chief Zheng had a heart attack and didn't bring any medicine. We were just about to call the ambulance. Don't stay here. If something really happens, then we'll drag you guys into it. Su Iyun pushed them out. Yizichin's expression changed. Then he touched the phone in his pocket. Seeing that the person on the sofa was more or less dead, using the Great Recovery pill should work, right? Yizichin silently retreated to the side and opened the treasure chest on his WeChat. The Great Recovery pill laid peacefully within the treasure chest. Yizichin already wanted to use the Great Recovery pill to save his life, but he hesitated when he was about to withdraw it. This thing could only be found if he sold it. Then wouldn't it fetch a sky-high price? F asterisk CK, bro is already in trouble, and you're still thinking about money. Yizichin clenched his teeth. Withdraw the Great Recovery pill. Quantity, 1 zoom. An exquisite jade bottle appeared in Yizichin's hands. F asterisk CK, he really withdrew it. Yizichin opened the bottle, and the fragrance of the pill surged out. However, Yizichin felt a lot more refreshed after taking a whiff of the pill's fragrance. Old Lord Taishan's products were truly extraordinary. Yizichin held the jade bottle in his hands tightly, then quickly ran over. Chapter 4. My profession is a vet. Not only was the group of people in the dorm shocked, even the group of people in the room were shocked. Yeezy, this isn't a place to speak nonsense. Su Iyun lowered his voice and warned beside Yizichin's ear. Yizichin did study medicine, but he studied veterinary medicine. I can save him if I say I can. You don't believe me? It's not that I don't believe you, but Bureau Chief Lu is the city's bureau chief. Your life will be ruined if you speak nonsense. Although Su Yun was mischievous and stingy normally, he was truly good to his bros in the dorm. Believe me, I really can save him. Yi Zichen patted his shoulders, then walked into the room and walked in front of Bureau Chief Liu, who was on the verge of death. Everyone in the room lost their focus. If anything happened to Bureau Chief Liu, then none of them would be able to escape the blame. The general manager of Latte also stood in the room with sweat all over his head, not knowing what to do. Su Yun reached out his hand and rolled his eyes at Bureau Chief Liu, causing the police officer beside him to grab his hand. Who are you? If you don't want your Bureau Chief Liu to die, then stop and stand to the side. Yi Zichen roared. His aura caused the police officer to freeze, while Nuo didn't speak for a long while. Great recovery pill, it's up to you. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth and poured out the great recovery pill from the J bottle. The moment the pill came out, the room was filled with the fragrance of the pill. Think of a way to get your Bureau Chief Liu to take this pill. Yi Zichen shouted at the police officer beside him. The police officer frowned and questioned, "What's wrong?" The police officer frowned and questioned, "What the hell is this? Is Bureau Chief Liu someone who can test medicine for you? Then what can you do? It's a sudden heart attack. If you really wait for the ambulance to come, then go to the funeral parlor and pledge your loyalty to your Bureau Chief." Yi Zichen's words were extremely unpleasant to hear. He was very displeased that this little police officer had stopped him time and time again. F***CK, Lousy isn't willing to use old Lord Taishang's celestial pill. What are you saying? The police officer wanted to slap Yi Zichen, but Su Yun's father, Su Qilong, grabbed the police officer's arm. "Officer Zhang, this child is speaking the truth. How about you let him try?" "Give it a try?" Officer Zhang snorted and said. He took out a broken pill and said it could save Director Liu's life. Who knows if he has ulterior motives? He's my classmate. Be more respectful when you speak. Su Yun was also annoyed. Although he didn't know what Yi Zichen was up to, he trusted Yi Zichen's character. "Little brother, how confident are you?" Su Qilong asked with a worried look on his face. The moment the pill appeared, he could feel how extraordinary it was. 100%, Yi Zichen answered firmly. 100%. I won't let Chief Liu fall into such danger. Officer Zhang sneered again. "I think you're up to no good, right?" Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. "You say that you won't let Commissioner Liu be in danger, but isn't he in danger right now? You've been wasting time with us all this time. Could it be that you want to take this opportunity to rise?" "That's right. Chief Liu must have brought you here because you're close to him and you're his direct subordinate. If anything really does happen to Chief Liu, then wouldn't you be able to take a step forward?" Yi Zichen's words were vicious, causing Officer Zhang's face to turn green. He angrily scolded Yi Zichen for making things up. Yi Zichen merely smiled coldly in response. "Don't F***king bullshit here. Lousy is going to save someone. Third bro, restrain Officer Zhang." "Okay." Su Yun hugged Officer Zhang, while Yi Zichen also placed the pill into Chief Liu's mouth. Yi Zichen took a cup of water from the tea table and directly drank the pill. "This is murder." Officer Zhang's face turned red. Su Qilong also squinted his eyes. "I'll take responsibility if anything goes wrong. Can you guys take responsibility?" Officer Zhang shouted in the room. However, everyone in the room felt like their hearts were in their throats. Yi Zichen's move just now tied everyone together. A minute passed. Cough, cough. Chief Liu, who was on the sofa, suddenly coughed intensely and opened his eyes. Everyone in the private room let out a long sigh of relief. Chief Liu also patted his chest and muttered. Chief Liu also patted his chest and muttered, "I took another trip to the gates of hell." "Chief Liu, you're fine." Officer Zhang broke free from Su Yun's restraints and ran over. Chief Liu laughed out loud. Chief Liu laughed loudly. "Haha, I'm alive." As soon as he finished speaking, he touched his chest. It felt warm and comfortable. "Who saved me?" "It's him." Su Yun pointed at Yi Zichen and smiled. He didn't think that this bro of his actually saved Chief Liu. "Oh, it's actually you, young man." Chief Liu stood up from the sofa and nodded. "You're a doctor?" Vet. Chief Liu was stunned. Yi Zichen was afraid that he would misunderstand. So he explained, "I didn't save you with medical skills. I saved you with a great recovery pill. Great recovery pill? Interesting. Chief Lu shook his head with a smile. He looked meaningfully at Yi Zichen, then took out a name card from his pocket and handed it to Yi Zichen. Old bro owes you a life. This is my personal number. A great recovery pill sounds like a rather valuable thing. However, old bro doesn't have much to give you. If you need anything in the future, just call this number. Old bro will try his best to help. Thank you, Chief Lu. Chief Lu, what Chief Lu? I'm just a few years older than you. If you don't mind, then call me Lu Ji. Lu Ji. Haha, sure. Chief Lu laughed, then looked at Su Qilong, who was beside him. Old Su, you saw my body as well. Let's meet up next time. Sure. After Chief Lu and Officer Zhang left, Su Qilong looked at the group of youngsters in the room and smiled. I won't get involved with you youngsters. You guys play, I'll go back first. Oh yeah, I wonder what your classmate is called. Uncle Su, I'm Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen, good name. Ian, thank your classmate properly. Sure. Su Qilong looked meaningfully at Yi Zichen, then left the room. The moment he left, the other people in the room immediately surrounded Yi Zichen. Yi Zi, what kind of miraculous pill is that? It's so useful. Yi Zi, you can't have a heart disease, and gave Chief Lu a quick-acting heart reliever pill, right? Everyone chatted and giggled, while Su Yun picked up a glass of red wine and walked in front of Yi Zichen. Yi Zi, thank you. Yi Zichen tilted his head back and drank the red wine, then patted his shoulders. We're all brothers. No need to be so formal. Chapter 5. Great Sage Sun's fiery eyes of truth. Yi Zichen rubbed his aching head and got up from the dorm bed. He was so drunk by Su Yun the previous night that he couldn't even remember how he got back to the dorm. Yi Zichen quickly picked up his phone. The chat group was filled with deities. It was a coincidence that a mere mortal like him was able to enter. If he got kicked out, then he would be useless. Fortunately, the chat group was still there, and the deities continued to chat tirelessly. Yi Zichen scrolled up. They sent a few red packets in the middle of the night, but Yi Zichen was already unconscious from being drunk at that time, so he naturally didn't manage to get any. Yi Zichen felt his heart ache, but he still smiled. There was still a lot of time in the future. He would send red packets every day. Would he be afraid that he wouldn't be able to get any? Just as he finished washing up, a group of people dressed like police officers appeared in the dorm. Who is Yi Zichen? I am. Yi Zichen was confused. He didn't do anything bad. Why did the police find him? Could something have happened to Commissioner Liu? F***CK. That was old Lord Taishang's great recovery pill. There was no problem. We received a report that you were suspected of fraud. Come with us to the station. At the police station, Yaoyu sat on the sofa. The person who reported the case was her. She frantically snatched back all of the underworld money, and the scratch marks on her body were the proof of her desperation. She had helped her turn the situation around, but when she saw the money, she noticed that it was actually underworld money. It could be said that it was like drawing water with a sieve. She couldn't take it anymore, so she called the police. I guessed it was you. Yi Zichen couldn't help but raise his eyebrows the moment he entered. Yaoyu stood up from the sofa and screamed with a sullen expression. Yi Zichen, you actually lied to me. That's weird. What did I lie to you about? You actually tricked me with 2 boxes of underworld money. Young lady, you should watch your words. I did throw the underworld money at you, but I only threw it at you. What did I lie to you about? Did I take any cash from you? Yi Zichen's mouth was filled with coldness. This kind of woman who only cared about money couldn't even tell the difference between underworld money and real money. He really was blind before. The police station isn't a place for you to argue. The police brought Yi Zichen into the interrogation room, while Yaoyu also walked over. As soon as they entered the interrogation room, Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and smiled. Officer Zhang, how have you been? Comrade Xiaoyi, why are you here? Officer Zhang was actually a good person. Yesterday, he simply didn't want Chief Lu to be in danger, which was why he seemed a little extreme. He had always wanted to thank Chief Lu for saving him, but he never had the chance. At this moment, Yaoyu walked in from outside. Officer Zhang immediately understood and said, You're the swindler? Officer Zhang, don't joke around. Do I look like a swindler to you? Yi Zichen shrugged. He is a swindler. He is. Yaoyu was so excited that she looked like she was going to eat someone. Officer Zhang frowned and slammed the table. Shut up. This gave Yao Yu a fright. She didn't dare to make a scene anymore and sat quietly on the chair. Tell me what happened. Yi Zichen told her everything that had happened, including their relationship. Hearing that, Officer Zhang looked towards Yao Yu with a rather unfriendly gaze. Towards the end, Yi Zichen also spoke up. Officer Zhang, it was indeed my fault to use underworld money to smash people, but it doesn't reach the level of swindling, right? Do you think I can leave now? If you can't deal with it, then I'll call Chief Liu? No. Chief Liu is still resting. I can deal with this. Yi Zichen left the police station without any injuries. The moment he walked out of the police station, he saw a red Ferrari 458 stop at the entrance, while Su Yun paced back and forth with his head lowered. OL3, why are you here? Su Yun suddenly looked up. He ran excitedly to Yi Zichen's side and patted his shoulders. Are you okay? Fisk, can this small problem trouble me? Yi Zichen smiled in disdain. Yao Yu and company were too inexperienced to deal with him. I knew you would be fine. Su Yun took out a bank card from his pocket. There's 200,000 in this card. It's a thank you payment from my dad. I might not be able to accept this money. Stop pretending. My dad said that your pill is definitely worth more than this. Giving you 200,000 is already us taking advantage of you. Hurry up and accept it. Don't you like ripping off rich people the most? My dad is one. Then I'll accept it. Su Yun put the card in his pocket, then smiled and said, You're right. Let's go. Older brother will take you to gain some knowledge. Yi Zichen sat in Su Yun's sports car and kept an eye on the chat group. The strange thing was that no one actually sent him a red packet the entire morning. They were all chatting about the great reform of the Heavenly Court. Since Yi Zichen couldn't understand these things, he casually put away his phone and examined the car. OL3, what exactly does your family do? My dad does some small business. Small business? Yi Zichen's face was filled with disbelief. Su Yun merely shrugged with a smile. Do not believe me. The place I'll take you to later, the people there are all God-level rich people. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone suddenly rang. He quickly took out his phone, while Su Yun, who was beside him, smiled. Girlfriend? It's not like you don't know Gang Huang. Can't we find a new one? Su Yun didn't comfort Yi Zichen like the other people in the dorm. The main reason was that they had different lifestyles, so their way of thinking was different. Yi Zichen ignored him and focused on the chat. It was the Immortality Peach Fairy who sent him a red packet. Without a doubt, it was already gone by the time Yi Zichen went to snatch it. After looking at the luck of others, he discovered that the one with the best luck was the Monkey King. At the same time, the group chat was also discussing this matter. Immortality Peach Fairy. Great sage, you always snatch red packets, but I've never seen you give them out. That's not very good. Smirk. Monkey King. Why should I old son post it? Zhu Beiji, Big Shi Xiang, don't be so stingy. The goddess has already sent it. It's not good if you don't send it. Erlang Shun. This monkey is so stingy. Erlang Shun's words seemed to have infuriated the Monkey King. Without saying anything else, he sent out a big red packet. Snatch. Secret Manual of the Eyes of Fire and Gold. Tier 1 X1 Eyes of Fire and Gold. Yi Zichen was stunned for a moment, while his heart raced. This can't be Great Sage Sun's fiery eyes of gold, right? That divine technique that can see through demons and ghosts. Yi Zichen looked at everyone else's luck and noticed that aside from him, everyone else only snatched peaches. Could I have won a special prize? Yi Zichen couldn't help but laugh dumbly. Hearing his silly laugh, Su Yun couldn't help but laugh silently. You're still saying that she's not your girlfriend? But that's good. Having a girlfriend can ease the pain in my heart. It also saves me the trouble of finding one for Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen, who was fantasizing about having the fiery eyes of truth like Great Sage Sun, suddenly received a friend request in his contact list. Monkey King. Yi Zichen's hand trembled when he saw the friend request, causing him to nearly drop his phone. Chapter 6. Sending Great Sage Sun a private packet. Su Yun also saw Yi Zichen's strange expression. Su Yun raised his eyebrows when he parked the car on the side of the road. What is it? Nothing, just drive. Yi Zichen waved his hand towards him, but stared at the friend request on his phone, not knowing what to do. He had already figured out the group. It was definitely a group of deities. It was already a bug for a mortal like him to be able to get in. Could it be that the Monkey King suddenly added him as a friend, mean that his good days were coming to an end? F***CK. Whether it's a blessing or a curse. If it's a curse, I can't avoid it. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth and chose to accept. Ding dong. The moment he accepted the friend request, the Monkey King sent him a message. Old son, have noticed you for a long time. You snatch red packets every day without saying anything. What? Are you afraid that they'll ask you to send red packets? He added 4 smirking emojis. Yi Zichen's heart raced when he saw the message. If he didn't reply properly, then he might be finished. Just as he was hesitating on how to reply, the Monkey King sent another message. Old son, isn't someone who does unprofitable business. You just stole my fiery eyes of truth secret scripture. Although you definitely won't be able to learn it, you should be clear that old son, I'm like a fish in water in the heavenly court because of this. Shouldn't you say something? After that, there were 2 more smirking emojis. Something. Could this great sage son want to ask him for a private packet? Yi Zichen expressed his helplessness. He didn't know how to send it at all right? He couldn't just send great sage son 100 kwai, right? He couldn't use it either. Ding dong. Intimacy mode activated. Intimacy level. Cold, friendly, trusted, respect, worship. Monkey King's current intimacy level. Friendly. Yi Zichen saw that in his chat with the Monkey King, there was intimacy level. Friendly, 100. It was 100 away from trusted. What the hell is intimacy level? But from the way the Monkey King talked to him, it was friendly, so he wouldn't be exposed. The most important thing right now was how to send him a private packet. Are you pretending that you're not here? Fine, I'll let you in the group. Yi Zichen, who had watched Journey to the West since he was young, definitely knew about Great Sage Sun's temper. If he didn't make arrangements with this monkey, his friendliness might turn into coldness. He must be stabilized now. Great Sage Sun, hold on. I will send it to you immediately. That's more like it. Hurry up. The Monkey King replied almost instantly, followed by 3 cool emojis. He opened the red envelope with the mentality of giving it a try. Ding! Unlike the usual red packets, after clicking on the Develop Red Packet button, a box that looked like a QR code immediately appeared on the screen. Yi Zichen slapped his thigh. F***CK, so that's what happened. There wasn't anything that he could send to Great Sage Sunday. Judging from Great Sage Sun's personality, Yi Zichen felt that Great Sage Sun would probably like something delicious or fun. Stop at the department store in front. What happened? Su Yun was completely confused. Yi Zichen had been acting strangely ever since he got on the car. If it wasn't for the fact that Su Yun was mentally strong, he really would have been scared. I want to buy something to eat. Before long, Su Yun parked his car in front of the department store. Yi Zichen hurriedly ran in, then ran out. When he came out, he had a bottle of Waha calcium milk in his hands. What did you buy this for? Su Yun asked in surprise the moment Yi Zichen got on the car. Don't worry about me. At that moment, the Monkey King's temper exploded once again. In merely 3 minutes, he sent 10-odd messages, all of which were urging Yi Zichen to hurry up and send it. Yi Zichen clicked on the red envelope button, and the scanning box appeared once again. Bodhisattva, bless me. Sent it successfully. Scan. Identification successful. Ding dong. A bright red envelope immediately appeared on screen. That's great. The Monkey King received your red envelope. What is this? It seems like I got it. Yi Zichen gulped. This is 2F** King amazing. I actually managed to send it over. However, the most important thing right now was to explain to Great Sage Sun how to drink Waha. Roughly 3 minutes later, Yi Zichen finished explaining how to drink Waha. The Monkey King replied with a "I'll try it" before disappearing. Ding dong. Dao's friend, what kind of treasure is this? Yi Zichen smiled as he looked at the Monkey King's words on the screen. As expected, his judgment was right. This Monkey King was truly fond of such things. This is a treasure that this little deity found in a certain secret realm. Do you have any more? Send me, old son, some more. Treasures are naturally rare. What I gave Great Sage just now was all this little deity has left. Tisk stingy. The Monkey King replied with 3 disdain. It was clear that he didn't believe what Yizichin said. All right, Old Sun still has some left to slowly drink. Old Sun is very satisfied with your red envelope, so I won't mention you in the group. Thank you, Great Sage. Ding. Monkey King's intimacy level increased by 30. You are 70 away from trusted. Although Yizichin didn't know what intimacy level was used for, it seemed like a high intimacy level definitely had good use. He also learned how to send private packets after his encounter with the Monkey King. It seemed like his life in the WeChat group would become more interesting. Of course, the most important thing was the secret scripture for the fiery eyes of truth. Treasure chest, withdraw. Do you want to learn the Monkey King's secret scripture, fiery eyes of truth? Yes. A light flashed in front of Yizichin's eyes, causing him to feel a lot brighter. However, there wasn't anything else special. Yizichin turned to look at Su Yun. Ugh, flowery underpants. No. How can I see the underpants I'm wearing? Yizichin opened his eyes wide and clenched his fist. F***, this fiery eyes of truth is truly amazing. If it was used on the school beauty, Su Yun, all of a sudden, Yizichin looked like a pig. The place that Su Yun brought Yizichin to was an antique street. This street sold antiques all year round, but most of them were fakes. Why did you bring me here? I can't afford it. What can't you afford it? They're all fakes. If you like them, then I'll give you a truckload of them. Su Yun replied indifferently. Yizichin was slightly stunned. Fakes. He swept his fiery eyes of truth over the antiques. Since he had never seen the real ones before, he was unable to tell the real from the fake. Look around here first. I'm going to pick up a friend and introduce him to you guys later. Sure, go. After Su Yun left, Yizichin started to wander around the antique street. Since Su Yun had told him that they were all fakes, he merely looked around from an appreciative point of view. Boss, how much can I buy this bottle for? A foreign accent attracted Yizichin's attention. To be more precise, it was the bottle in his hands. Chapter 7. Painting in a bottle. The person who brought the blue and white porcelain over was a shifty-looking young man who didn't seem like a decent person. On the other hand, the owner of the pawn shop looked rather familiar and had a mustache. Hearing that, the owner walked up and received the blue and white porcelain, then held a magnifying glass to examine it carefully. The blue and white porcelain was about 1 meter tall. The appearance of the guy caused quite a few people to surround it. However, a few knowledgeable people quickly shook their heads and left. It was clear that it was a fake. The owner of the pawn shop was naturally a knowledgeable person. He lost interest in it after noticing that it was a fake after a simple glance. Boss, your blue and white porcelain is a modern imitation. Such a big guy is taking up space in my shop. You should just take it away. Boss, you can't be trying to lower the price on purpose, right? Give me a good price. If it's suitable, then I'll sell it. The owner was clearly a generous person. When he heard the young man say that, he laughed instead of getting angry. I, Lu Yong, have stayed in the antique street for 10-odd years. I care about honesty. You can take it to someone knowledgeable and ask them to see if I lied to you or not. All of a sudden, many knowledgeable people spoke up. Actually, the young man also knew that the blue and white porcelain was fake. He originally wanted to try his luck to see if he could fool anyone. However, his IQ might have gone offline. He actually came to the antique street to scam people. Wait a moment. Yizichin stopped the young man and pointed at the blue and white porcelain. How much do you want? The young man's eyes brightened. It seemed like his luck was pretty good. There really was an idiot that fell for it. Young man, his blue and white porcelain is a fake, and the workmanship is rather crude. It takes up a lot of space in the living room. It isn't worth collecting. Lu Yong couldn't help but remind him out of goodwill. Hearing that someone actually wanted to ruin his business, the young man cursed. You unscrupulous merchant. You colluded with a passerby to scam me. Now that someone knowledgeable wants to buy it, you still want to pour dirty water on me. Do you believe that I won't splash a bucket of black dog's blood on your shop's face tonight? The moment the young man said that, Lu Yong's expression froze. Merchants were more or less afraid of these things. What's more, he wasn't related to Yizichin, so all he could do was give him a simple reminder. Yi Zichen shook his head and sighed as he returned to the shop. Boss, how much are you going to pay? Just now, the owner of the pawn shop said that this is a fake. Could it really be a fake? Yi Zichen pretended to be ignorant and asked carefully. I really don't understand. The young man was delighted. It seemed that fortune really couldn't be stopped. TSK, that old man just wants to lower himself to take my bottle. I'm telling you, boss, this bottle was passed down from my ancestors. It's definitely not a fake. I think so too. Yi Zichen nodded as if he was convinced. The pawn shop owner let out another long sigh after hearing their conversation. She wanted to remind him, but the young man glared back at her. My grandpa likes blue and white porcelain very much. I think this is a good one. I want to buy it for him. How much do you want? The young man raised 3 fingers. 300,000. How greedy. Yi Zichen laughed coldly in his heart. This is too expensive. I don't have that much pocket money. Forget it. I won't buy it. Yi Zichen turned around and left with a regretful expression. Seeing that, the pawn shop owner actually let out a sigh of relief for him. However, the young man panicked. How could he let a cooked duck run away just like that? Boss, how much do you think you can pay? My mother is seriously ill, and I urgently need money to treat her. The young man was truly disgraceful. He was even able to say something like that in order to scam some money. A cold intent flashed across Yi Zichen's eyes. Then he raised 5 fingers. I'll just have 50,000. All right, I'll sell it to the boss. The young man acted like he was reluctant to part with it. Yi Zichen didn't hesitate and went to the bank to withdraw 50,000 yuan for the young man. The moment the blue and white porcelain was in his hands, Yi Zichen touched it like he couldn't bear to part with it. Hee, look at how poor you are, buying a fake vase and treating it like a treasure. A snicker sounded out from the crowd. Yi Zichen looked up and saw Guochang standing not far away with his arm around Yao Yu's waist. Yi Zichen ignored him and looked into the opening of the vase. There was no doubt that the vase was fake. The purple aura should be something inside the vase. Actually, he wasn't sure what treasure was inside the vase. He was merely taking a gamble. If he lost, then treat it as buying a lesson. If he earned, OL5, I've been looking for you for so long. Why are you here? At that moment, a dignified-looking man beside Su Yun walked over. You bought this blue and white porcelain? Su Yun asked in surprise when he saw the large vase beside Yi Zichen. I just bought it. How much did you buy it for? This time, the person who spoke was not Su Yun, but the man beside him. Su Yun also smiled softly and introduced. OL5, let me introduce you. This is Xiao Hai. He is definitely a god-level person. At the same time, he also smiled toward Xiao Hai. This is my bro, Yi Zichen. After the two of them nodded, Xiao Hai spoke up once again. How much did you buy this blue and white porcelain for? 50,000. Before Yi Zichen could speak, Guochang already spoke in a weird tone. Poor is poor. Using 50,000 yuan to buy a fake blue and white porcelain as treasure. Fake? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. He didn't understand this at all, but Xiao Hai, who was beside him, was an expert. It's fake. Just treat 50,000 yuan as buying a lesson. It's not expensive. Xiao Hai nodded. However, Guochang once again smiled ambiguously. 50,000 yuan is indeed not much for young Master Xiao. For young Master Xiao, 50,000 yuan is indeed not a lot. But for him, 50,000 yuan is enough for him to earn for a long time. Su Yun frowned. He originally didn't want to pay attention to Guochang. Guochang had a bit of fame in school, so he knew him. However, he didn't care about his dad's small factory at all. Xiao Hai also felt the strangeness and raised his eyebrows. There's a grudge. Sort of, the woman beside that guy is my ex-girlfriend. Yi Zichen was rather carefree. Xiao Hai nodded with understanding, while his gaze towards Yi Zichen also changed. Lil Yun's friends are also Xiao Hai's friends. It seems like you're around the same age as Lil Yun. I'm a few years older than you guys. If you don't mind, you can call me Hai Ji. Just treat this blue and white porcelain as my gift to you. Old Huang, give me 50,000 yuan. Thank you, Hai Ji, but I can still take out 50,000 yuan. If it's fake, then it's fake. I'll just treat it like I bought it and listen to it. Yi Zichen smiled. then picked up a rock from the ground and smashed it towards the blue and white porcelain. Xiaohai and Suyun were both stunned when they didn't think that Yi Zichen would actually accept it so easily. But very quickly, Xiaohai pursed his lips and smiled. This Yi Zichen was an interesting person. However, Guochang was different. What are you pretending for? Your heart hurts like hell, right? Even Xiaohai was a bit annoyed by Yi Zichen's continuous mockery. Yi Zichen already called him Hai Ji just now. Wasn't this not giving him any face? Crack! At that moment, the blue and white porcelain also shattered. The shattered pieces of porcelain fell onto the ground, proving once again that it was a fake. However, the blue and white porcelain did shatter. Chapter 8. Calligraphy and painting of exorbitant price. When the calligraphy and painting appeared, everyone was stunned. The owner of the painting obviously didn't want outsiders to know about the existence of this painting, so he stuck the painting on the wall of the blue and white porcelain vase. Yi Zichen also smiled. The purple aura was from the painting. He took out the painting and opened it, an authentic work. Lu Yong and Xiaohai spoke almost at the same time. Young Master Xiao, why don't we go inside the shop to look at the paintings? Lu Yong extended an invitation. Guochang's face turned purple. He had been in the antique street for many years, so naturally, he could tell that the calligraphy and painting were authentic. An authentic work of the 8 great mountain men would cost at least 5 million on the market. Damn it, he was really lucky. Brother Chong, that painting, what painting? Let's go. Guochang angrily shouted and left the antique street with Yao Yu. I truly didn't expect that this fake blue and white porcelain would contain the true work of the bottom mountain men. Lu Yong couldn't help but click his tongue in wonder, but he also had a wry smile on his face. This blue and white porcelain was originally bought by the young man from him. If he bought the blue and white porcelain, this painting would belong to him. However, Lu Yong was also a free and easy person. He understood the saying, what's in one's life will eventually come to pass, but what's not in one's life should not be forced. While Xiaohai and Lu Yong, the 2 art lovers, were admiring the paintings inside, Suyun and Yi Zichen laughed as they smoked outside. Yi Zi, you've struck gold. What? You didn't see Brother Hai's expression. Let me tell you, Brother Hai is a person who loves paintings. If he wants to buy it, he will definitely give you a sky-high price. Is that so? Yi Zichen replied absent-mindedly. Of course he could tell that Xiaohai was a person who loved drawing, but he could also tell that the owner of the pawn shop was a similar person. If the 2 of them wanted to buy it together, what would he do? At this moment, Xiaohai and Lu Yong walked out of the store. Lu Yong carefully placed the painting into Yi Zichen's hands, then looked at him hesitantly. It was the same for Xiaohai. Little brother, can I discuss something with you? Lu Yong was the first to speak. Go ahead. Yi Zichen sighed, as expected. Are you selling this painting? I want to buy it at a fair price. However, I promise you that I will not raise the price of this painting and sell it to others. I simply like it. You actually beat me to it. Xiaohai also shook his head and laughed. Actually, I also want to buy this painting. The market price of this painting is around 5 million. I can give you 7 million. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows when he heard Xiaohai's price. Holy sh*t, 7 million. Su Yun, on the other hand, was much calmer. Having known Xiaohai for so long, he knew very well how strong Xiaohai was. Boss, how much can you give us? Young Master Xiao has already bid 7 million. What else can I say? I'm not afraid of you laughing at me, but the most I can offer is 5 million yuan. Lu Yong had a bitter expression on his face. He had always been a lover of calligraphy and painting, so when he saw the authentic work of the 8 great mountain men, his heart naturally itched. Unfortunately, his opponent was young Master Xiao. Okay, I'll sell this painting to the owner for 5 million. Yi Zichen hesitated for a moment, then handed the painting over to the owner. At the same time, he explained to Xiaohai with a wry smile. Hai Ji, just now. No need to explain to me. Boss Lu is famous in the circle for loving paintings as much as his life. Selling it to him is giving the painting a good home. I'm purely collecting it. It doesn't matter if I have it or not. Xiaohai waved his hand with a smile. After leaving the antique street, Yi Zichen couldn't help but sigh in his heart as he sat in Su Yun's car. Coming to the antique street, he managed to earn 5 million. However, he understood very clearly that all of this was brought to him by that magical WeChat group. However, he was still a bit nervous in his heart. That Xiaohai was clearly an amazing person. Buying a painting for 7 million yuan, this sort of person was definitely not someone a small fry like him could offend. OL3, Haiji won't get angry, right? You're thinking too much, Su Yun laughed. Su Yun burst into laughter. Big brother, Hai isn't such a petty person. Let me tell you, when you sold the painting to Lu Yong, Big brother Hai told me behind your back that you were a wonderful person. Amazing person? It's not cursing, right? Yeah, it's cursing. Just wait for your death. Hai Ji is a famous person in Bingxing. You actually sold it to Lu Yong and not him. He's very angry. Hurry up and give me your phone and bank card for safekeeping. If you die, I can still give it to Andy. Su Yun scolded in annoyance. Hearing that, Yi Zichen smiled in his heart for some reason. Crazy. Buzz, Yi Zichen's phone rang. He picked it up and raised his eyebrows. The person calling was actually Chief Lu. Lu Ji, are you all right? Haha, I'm fine. Chief Lu smiled. Lu Yi, I really have to thank you for yesterday. Lu Ji is too courteous. Haha, Lu Ji actually has something to ask of you this time. Do you have time to come over to Lu Ji's place? Yi Zichen was very worried. Chief Lu was the chief of the city's police. He was merely a poor university student. It wasn't right for him to ask him to do something. However, since he said it like that, he couldn't possibly refuse. Sure, then Lu Ji, tell me the address. I'll go over right now. Su Yun said after hanging up the phone. Chief Lu's call? Yi Zichen nodded, then thought about the contents of the call. Chief Lu told me to go over to his place. Send me over. The place that Yi Zichen agreed to meet with Chief Lu was a high-class business clubhouse. The moment he arrived at the clubhouse, he saw Chief Lu and Officer Zhang standing outside, as if they were waiting for him. Lil Yi, be Chief Lu. If it wasn't for Chief Lu's voice, Yi Zichen really wouldn't have been able to recognize him. Chief Lu was clearly a middle-aged man in his 40s yesterday. However, if the two of them had just met yesterday, Yi Zichen would have suspected that Chief Lu went for plastic surgery. You don't recognize me? Chief Lu laughed heartily, his laughter full of vigor. Chief Lu nodded after looking at Su Yun, who was beside him. This is an old Su's child. Chief Lu. Su Yun nodded with a light smile, but he was also shocked in his heart. Everyone sat down, while Yi Zichen was still immersed in the shock Chief Lu gave him. A completely different person. How did he become like this after a day of not seeing him? Lil Yi, Lu Ji has been waiting for you here for a long time. Chief Lu. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen didn't know how to reply. Making the city's chief wait in person was definitely enough to brag about for a year. No need to be courteous with your Lu Ji. Chief Lu patted Yi Zichen's shoulders, then a light flashed across his eyes. Lil Yi, your family should be from there, right? Yi Zichen was completely confused. From there? Where did he come from? Chief Lu saw Yi Zichen's expression, then shook his head with a light smile. You're still pretending to be confused with Lu Ji. Isn't it all thanks to your pill that Lu Ji is like this? Chief Lu's heart disease could be said to be an old problem. However, he found out that his heart disease was completely cured today, and even his bodily functions returned to when he was 30. Furthermore, through Lil Zhang's words, he was certain that Yi Zichen was definitely from there. Yi Zichen continued to be confused. Never mind. Lu Ji is someone who knows the rules, so he won't ask too much. Commissioner Lu shook his head with a smile. Yi Zichen asked in confusion. Yi Zichen asked, Chief Lu, what did you call me here for? I brought you to meet a friend. Chapter 9. Water Curtain Paradise's honey peaches only. After Commissioner Lu's explanation, did Yi Zichen find out that the person who wanted to invite him here was actually someone else. As Yi Zichen walked along the dazzling corridor, he looked left and right the entire time. This kind of business club was more than a level higher than the latte he went last time. Chief Lu, CEO Xiao, has been waiting inside for a long time. At the door of a private room at the end of the corridor, the club manager smiled and opened the door for Director Lu. Yi Zichen was stunned the moment he entered the room. The person sitting in the private room was none other than Xiao Hai, whom they had just separated from not too long ago. Brother Liu. As soon as Chief Liu entered the room, Xiao Hai quickly walked up to him. When he saw Yi Zichen and Su Yun, he paused for a moment, then asked in confusion. Liu Ji, that Lil you're talking about can't be Zichen, right? You know him? Chief Liu was also stunned for a moment before he shook his head and smiled. Yes, the Xiao I was talking about is him. Brother Hai. Yi Zichen and Su Yun also spoke up at the same time. Xiao Hai shook his head with a smile. He already felt that Yi Zichen was different from the others the moment they met. After inviting everyone to the sofa, Xiao Hai didn't beat around the bush and directly spoke. Zichen, Brother Hai won't beat around the bush. This time, I called you here to ask if you still have the Great Cyclic Pill. I can buy it for a high price. Great Recover Pill. Yi Zichen instantly understood. It seemed like Xiao Hai found out about the effects of the Great Recovery Pill from Chief Liu and wanted to buy one. However, he didn't look like he had any chronic illness. Could it be that he needed it to save his life? Or that someone else needed it? But he only managed to snatch one Great Cyclic Pill. Recently, old Lord Taishang hadn't come out to give out red packets. So where was he going to get one? Big Brother Hai, I don't have any more Great Returning Pills. Yi Zichen answered honestly. Are you afraid that we can't afford it? At this moment, a discordant voice rang out in the private room. Hearing that, Yi Zichen looked over and saw a young man around his age standing in the corner of the room, dressed in branded luxury goods. It was obvious that he was a typical rich second generation. Huang Ming apologized to Zichen. Xiao Hai frowned. Cousin, this guy is obviously trying to raise the price. Why are you being so polite to him? Huang Ming could be considered as Xiao Hai's cousin. Because he had a big brother like Xiao Hai, he didn't care about anyone. My cousin doesn't lack money. Kid, how much do you want? Name your price. Huang Ming ignored Xiao Hai's warning and walked in front of Yi Zichen. To tell the truth, Yi Zichen was very displeased with her superior attitude. But because of Chief Liu's face and his relationship with Xiao Hai, he didn't explode and could only answer patiently. I really don't have any more. How about 10 million? Huang Ming's face was filled with arrogance. Yi Zichen especially hated his lousy is rich look. So what if you're rich? You think you can look down on people just because you have money? I don't have the Great Recover Pill. The atmosphere in the room instantly turned cold. Everyone could already feel Yi Zichen's displeasure. Huang Ming still wanted to flare up, but Xiao Hai stopped him. Shut up, Xiao Hai roared. Huang Ming immediately shrunk his neck and walked to the side resentfully. Zichen, Haiji really needs this Great Recover Pill. Yi Zichen felt a bit bad when he saw the pleading in Xiao Hai's eyes. He touched the phone in his pocket and stood up from the sofa. Wait a moment for me. Yi Zichen quickly ran to the bathroom of the clubhouse and directly sent a message to the Monkey King. Great Sage Son, are you there? Where did you find me, old son? The Monkey King practically replied instantly. Do you have old Lord Taishang's Great Recover Pill? Send me a few. How could old son have that geezer's crappy pill? The Monkey King replied instantly once again with 3 disdainful emojis. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen felt troubled. However, the Monkey King sent another message. What do you need the Great Recover Pill for? It's not like it's anything rare. That geezer refines a cauldron of several hundred and gives them to the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals of the heavenly palace to eat as candy. Yi Zichen was speechless. The people of the heavenly court were truly extravagant. This little deity encountered some trouble and needs the Great Recover Pill. If Great Sage doesn't have it, then this little deity will think of something else. There was nothing Yi Zichen could do since the Monkey King didn't have the Great Recover Pill. He wasn't familiar with the deities in the group, so he couldn't just add old Lord Taishang as a friend to ask for a private packet. God knows what their intimacy level was. What if they found out? All he could say was that Xiao Hai was unlucky. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen felt a bit sorry for him. He didn't sell the painting to him, so he couldn't buy the Great Recover Pill even if he wanted to. I, old son, don't have the geezer's Great Recover Pill, but the peaches of I, old son Huaguaran, aren't any worse than his pill. Just as Ezichin was about to give up, the Monkey King sent another message. Then, great sage, hurry up and send it to me. Hee hee, if you want old son's peaches, then don't you have to do something? Great sage son sent 3 crooked finger emojis. It seemed like he wanted more Waha calcium milk. However, since he didn't have it on hand, Yi Zichen could only write an IOU. This little deity is outside right now. How about this? Great sage, send the peaches to this little deity first. Then this little deity will send it to you later. You wouldn't lie to old son, right? How would this little deity dare? I know you wouldn't dare. Ding dong. A red packet appeared on the screen. Yi Zichen clicked it without thinking. You received the Monkey King's red packet. Peaches X1. Yi Zichen quickly clicked open the treasure chest. Peaches extracted. A peach that was no different than a normal peach appeared in Yi Zichen's hands. He looked at the pink peach in his hands. Gulp. This was a peach that grew in the water curtain cave. Yi Zichen wanted to eat it as well. Never mind, I'll have a chance to eat it in the future. Yi Zichen suppressed the gluttonous bug in his stomach and walked back to the room with the peach. After Yi Zichen left, Xiao Hai's heart continued to pound. This great recovery pill was extremely important to him. The old man at home was counting on this great recovery pill. Big bro, that brat just wants to get more money. We'll just raise the price later. What's more, do you really believe that the great recovery pill is useful? The moment Huang Ming said that, Chief Lu's expression instantly darkened. What did that mean? Could it be that he was lying? Lu Ji, don't mind it too much. Xiao Hai frowned towards Huang Ming. This cousin of his truly couldn't do anything right. What kind of status did Chief Lu have? Wasn't he just trying to embarrass him by saying that? Little brother Su, Lu Ji isn't that sort of petty person. The reason I brought Lil Yi over this time was purely because you begged me. Since our relationship is pretty good, that's why I brought Lil Yi over. You should know Lil Yi as well. You should know what kind of person he is. Xiao Hai's expression tensed up as he thought back to the time at the antique street. This Yi Zichen was indeed a master. Although the great recovery pill was too shocking, he was willing to try it for his family's old man. At that moment, the door to the room was pushed open once again. Xiao Hai's eyes lit up the moment the door was pushed open, while Huang Ming's mouth curled into a disdainful smile. If you want to leave, just leave and come back. Chapter 10. The peach is miraculous. Lily, just now you went. Xiao Hai's expression was filled with anticipation. Yi Zichen shrugged and handed the peach over. There's no more great recovery pills. Take this peach back. Gah! The people in the private room were stunned, and Huang Ming cursed loudly. Brat, what's the meaning of this? We came for the great recovery pill. You're trying to fool us with a shitty peach? Shitty peach? Yi Zichen's expression turned cold. Huang Ming was looking for trouble from the start. Even a person with a good temper would get angry. What does me talking to your cousin have to do with you? Say that again. Huang Ming stood up from his sofa. No one dared to speak to him like that in Bingsheng. Huang Ming. Xiao Hai was also angry. They came here to ask for help. Was this the attitude of asking for help? All of a sudden, he felt a bit regretful. He shouldn't have brought Huang Ming along. Hi Ji, I think I'll leave first. If you guys don't want that peach, then throw it away. Yi Zichen turned around and left. Su Yiyun also followed after seeing the situation. This brat Huang Ming was too cocky. He was rather annoyed. Lil Hai, I'm leaving as well. Chief Lu smiled coldly and left with Officer Zhang, leaving only Xiao Hai and Huang Ming in the room. Biaoga, that brat doesn't care about you at all. He's purely messing with us. Shut up. Xiao Hai was furious. If it wasn't for Huang Ming, the situation wouldn't have turned out like this. Xiao Hai looked at the peach on the tea table and hesitated for a moment, but still brought it back. Yi, what exactly do you do? Why do I feel like I can't see through you? On the way back, Su Yun's face was filled with curiosity. I'm just a poor student. Tisk, you're so shameless. I'd believe it if you said that you were a poor student before, but you still dare to say that you're poor now? Su Yun twitched his mouth. He already had a 5 million yuan card in his pocket. If he still said that he was poor, then the others wouldn't be able to live. Don't talk nonsense when we get back to the dorm. Chief Lu's situation was too shocking. If his roommates knew about it, they would definitely spread the news. Don't worry, I'll keep my mouth shut. Besides, you also know that I don't live in the dormitory. That's good. When Yizichin returned to school, he felt that the students looked at him with a weird gaze. The people around him were pointing at him, making him a little uncomfortable. He could only speed up his pace and walk toward the dormitory building. Suyen, look, isn't that the guy throwing hell notes at people? Two girls stood not too far away from Yizichin and looked in his direction. Yes, that's true. Suyen, the campus belle of the University of Science and Technology. Whether it was her family background, her studies, or her appearance, she was the kind of person that people could only look up to. She was the dream lover of many men in the University of Science and Technology. When the news came out on the school website, I thought it was that rich second-generation heir. Why? Do you like rich second-generation kids? Su Yin smiled playfully, but the girl beside her pouted. Bah, I don't like those rich second generations. That's it, but I just feel like this person is so bad. Throwing hell notes at people is so unlucky. Really? I do feel like that guy is rather interesting. Su Yin smiled towards Yizichin's back. Su Yin smiled towards Yizichin's back, then pulled the girl beside her. Kiki, let's go back. Interesting, why didn't I feel it? Kiki also glanced towards Yizichin, then left with Su Yin. OL5, you're a famous person in school now. Zhang Rue laid on the upper bunk and played with his phone. Yizichin finally understood why the students looked at him with such a weird gaze. The underworld note incident was exposed. His fake rich second generation's sugar coating was also exposed, which naturally attracted a lot of attention. Yizichin couldn't help but twitch his mouth when he saw the comments under the new post. After a rich second generation pretending to be poor was exposed, he would definitely receive a lot of praise, but on the contrary, he would be despised by tens of thousands of people. Yizichin naturally didn't care about that. He knew his own strength the best. The most important thing right now was to understand the Monkey King's position. Great Sage, hurry up and send it over to me, old son. Great Sage Sun instantly replied once again. Yizichin actually felt a bit proud of his reply speed. It seemed like he had a rather high position on Great Sage Sun's side. All right, this little deity will send it over to Great Sage right now. Yizichin sent a bottle of Waha calcium milk, causing a huge red packet to appear on the screen. Why is there only one? The Monkey King replied with 3 angry emojis. Great Sage, this sort of treasure can only be found by luck. This little deity only has one left. I originally wanted to keep it for myself to enjoy. Stop pretending with Old Sunday. Do you believe that Old Sun will tell everyone about you in the group? Threatening me? Yizichin smiled. Then Great Sage, just say it. What this little deity said is the truth. If Great Sage doesn't believe it, then there's nothing I can do about it. However, if you say this little deity out, then Great Sage might not be the only one who would ask this little deity for a private packet. Never mind, I, Old Sun, will spare your life. Thank you, Great Sage. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with the Monkey King increased by 10. You are 60 away from trusted. Yizichin smiled when he saw the intimacy level display. He understood the logic of rare goods being hoarded. The Monkey King was only interested in Waha because he had just come into contact with it. If Yizichin wanted to keep him in suspense, then he had to make Waha very rare. Only then would he be able to keep the Monkey King interested without making him feel like he was losing out. After lurking in the group for a while, Yizichin noticed that there were only a few people in the group every day. They were all talking about topics that Yizichin did not understand. Seeing that no one in the group sent out any red packets, Yizichin chucked his phone to the side of his pillow and laid on the bed with his mind filled with the peach. I wonder what the taste of honey peaches is like. At the Xiao household, Yizichin's peach was brought back by Xiao Hai, but he did not immediately feed it to his grandpa. Ignoring the fact that his grandpa was so sick that he couldn't even open his mouth, he could only maintain his bodily functions on liquid food every day. What's more, he needed to find a medical team to test the effects of the peach first. The mansion's door opened, and Xiao Hai walked in with a medical team. However, when he arrived at the living room, he noticed that the peach was already gone. Lil, hi, you're back. A beautiful young woman walked down from the second floor of the mansion. Xiao Hai looked at the woman and did not dare to speak. Judging from the voice, This should be his mother, Shui Shuefeng. Lil, hi. What are you blanking out for? Mom, Xiao Hai said blankly. Shui Shuefeng reached out her hand and touched his forehead. This silly child, why are you like this? Mom, don't you know what's changed? What's changed about me? Shui Shuefeng rolled her eyes at Xiao Hai. However, when she glanced at her own face in the living room mirror, she instantly froze. Then, she quickly walked towards a mirror. Mom, did you eat the peach on the tea table? Yeah. Slap. Xiao Hai slapped his thigh, then took out his phone from his pocket and shouted. Chapter 11. Huang Ming apologizes just as Yi Zichen returned from eating with his roommates. A high-end sports car blocked their path. The sports car that brushed past them caused Yi Zichen and company to jump in fright. Just as everyone felt a lingering fear, the owner of the sports car got off the car. It's you. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. The guy in front of him was none other than Huang Ming, who was with Xiao Hai. Yi Zichen, what are you doing here? Yi Zichen didn't like him, and neither did Huang Ming. He was just having fun with a few pretty girls at the nightclub when Xiao Hai randomly called him to apologize to Yi Zichen. Although he was Xiao Hai's cousin, he was still just a cousin. Xiao Hai's unkind tone made him afraid, so he had no choice but to apologize. However, in his heart, he felt that Yi Zichen had said something to his cousin behind his back for his cousin to act like that. Let me tell you, kid, don't try to play dirty tricks behind my back. Do you think that just by calling my cousin and asking him to force me to apologize to you, I will apologize? Dream on. Let me tell you, I will never apologize to you. Are you sick? I'm warning you. Don't play dirty tricks behind my back. Huang Ming drove off in his sports car, leaving a trail of dust behind him. Kong Peng and the others looked at the back of the sports car and raised their eyebrows. Easy. Why did you provoke such a person? I can see that his sports car is worth a lot of money. His identity is definitely not ordinary. He's a lunatic. Ignore him. Huang Ming's appearance also confused Yi Zichen, but he guessed that Xiao Hai probably gave the peach to his family to eat. Yi Zichen couldn't help but feel a bit of heartache when he thought of peaches. Damn it, he had never eaten it before. Xiao family. Xiao Hai purposely gave Shui Shuefeng a full body checkup and discovered that Shui Shuefeng's physical fitness had returned to that of a 30-year-old. More importantly, the minor illnesses on her body had all disappeared. This alarmed everyone in the Xiao clan. Young Master Ming is back. Huang Ming yawned as he walked into the mansion. After leaving Yi Zichen's school, he had wanted to go to a nightclub to have some fun, but he was told to come back immediately. He had no choice but to return to the villa resentfully. But as soon as he entered and saw the group of people in the villa, he was stunned. Everyone in the living room turned to look at Huang Ming. Swallowing his saliva, Huang Ming walked over step by step. Did Yi Zichen forgive you? Xiao Hai questioned. Cousin, did that guy say something bad to you behind your back? Let me tell you, that kid is just after money. You don't have to care about him. Let me ask you, has he forgiven you? Xiao Hai's tone was frighteningly cold. Huang Ming had never seen his cousin so angry before. He licked his lips and lowered his head. I didn't apologize. Pa. The cup in someone's hand fell to the ground. Xiao Hai glared at him a few times, his fists making creaking sounds. Second uncle, this is your good son. Xiao Hai left the table in anger. Huang Ming looked at his father with a terrified expression. Pa Huang Ming was dumbfounded by the slap. Dad, Huang Zhen had a son at an old age, so he spoiled Huang Ming a lot. Ever since he was born, he had always spoiled Huang Ming and had never hit him. Unfilial son, unfilial son. I'm telling you, no matter what method you use, you have to make Yi Zichen forgive you. If you can't do it, then I don't have a son like you. Huang Ming was truly confused. He looked at his father in confusion. At this moment, Shui Shuefeng walked over and held Huang Ming's hand, then said sincerely, Ming, listen to Auntie, go, and apologize to Yi Zichen. Auntie. Huang Ming couldn't help but be stunned as he looked at the woman who could practically be his older sister. All of a sudden, he instantly understood what had happened. I understand. The next day, Yi Zichen's head felt like it was going to explode from the professional classes in the morning. It wasn't the professional knowledge that caused his head to explode. It was the gazes of the surrounding students. The moment class ended, Yi Zichen quickly ran towards the dormitory. As he ran, he could still see the students around him pointing at him and gossiping about him. Yo, is this the fake rich second-generation Yi Zichen, young Master Yi? Yi Zichen looked up and saw Yao Yu hugging Guo Chang's shoulders as she stood not far away. When Yi Zichen saw Yao Yu's familiar face and extremely annoying words, he shook his head and took a step to the side. You're leaving just like that? No matter what, we did have a past like that. Is there a need to be so extreme? Yi Zichen stopped and smiled helplessly. It seems like this was caused by you. Very good. It did affect my life a bit. You achieved your goal, didn't you? Don't pretend to be a good person in front of Lianyang. A poor person is a poor person. What do you want to pretend to be a rich person for? Lianyang has been with you for more than half a year. You didn't even buy me a decent bag. For some reason, Yao Yu's ugliness was infinitely magnified at that moment. Yi Zichen could not understand how he had actually found a girlfriend like that. Indeed, he was just a normal poor student. However, when Yao Yu wanted to buy something, when had he ever hesitated at all? Seriously, Yi Zichen shook his head and ignored Yao Yu, then directly walked towards the dormitory. Zoom! Just as Yi Zichen was about to enter the dormitory, a silver sports car suddenly stopped. Young Master Yi, young Master Yi. Huang Ming frantically ran in front of Yi Zichen from the car. Yi Zichen smiled towards Huang Ming. He didn't like this guy very much. Isn't this young Master Huang? What did you come to find a poor student like me for? Plop. Huang Ming directly knelt in front of Yi Zichen. Young Master Yi, young Master Yi. A great person like you. Please don't hold grudges against a lowly person like me. Just treat it like I'm young and insensible, and just let me go like I'm a fart. Huang Ming's words were absolutely sincere. The previous night could truly be described as torture for him. His heart was filled with fear. Xiao Hai and his father's behavior, as well as Cui Xuefeng's change, caused him to completely understand that Yi Zichen truly was not a normal person. Being related to a large family like the Xiao family, he more or less knew a bit about that. The people over there were all hidden masters. It was fine for Xiao Hai to get angry at him, but if Yi Zichen really pissed him off, and Yi Zichen used some tricks behind his back, then Yi Zichen would definitely be in big trouble. At that moment, Guo Chang, who was about to drive away from school, saw the scene in the boys' dormitory. He looked at the two familiar figures several times, but they were truly too far away, so he couldn't see them clearly at all. Changji, let's go. Yao Yu hugged Guo Chang's arm coquettishly. Guo Chang raised his eyebrows, then reached out his hand to touch Yao Yu's body with a smile. Chapter 12. The Monkey King's monkey wine. Yi Zichen was also shocked when Huang Ming knelt down. Hurry up and get up. Seeing that more and more students gathered around, Yi Zichen also walked over to Huang Ming's side in an attempt to help him up. However, not only did Huang Ming not get up, he even went even further and hugged Yi Zichen's leg. Young Master Yi, please let me go. Isn't that the fake rich second generation on the school forum? It seems like it. What kind of show is he putting on now? Look at that sports car, Porsche 911. F***CK, it really is. What's going on? Plenty of students already took out their phones and started to take pictures. All of a sudden, the school forum exploded. Yi Zichen was already a hot topic recently. The moment he posted it, a large group of people instantly followed. At the same time, at the entrance of the school dormitory, Yi Zichen didn't get angry when he saw the surrounding students start to take pictures. He tried his best to pull Huang Ming up, but this guy was like a dog skin plaster and hugged him tightly without moving. F***CK. If you don't want to die, then F***King stand up and talk. Huang Ming, who was kneeling on the ground, directly stood up as if it was a conditioned reflex. Young Master Yi, I know why you came here. Go back and tell Big Brother Xiao Hai that I don't have anything that can save the old man recently. I'll contact him when I have the time. Young Master Yi, you still don't forgive me. Huang Ming acted like he was going to kneel down again. Yi Zichen was defeated by his shamelessness. I forgive you. No, young Master Yi, you didn't forgive me. It seemed like saying nice things was useless. Yi Zichen licked his lips and pointed at Huang Ming's sports car. Immediately drive your car and disappear from my sight. Young Master Yi, do I need to repeat myself? Yi Zichen frowned. Huang Ming clenched his teeth, then turned around and ran towards the sports car. Before he left, he was still begging for forgiveness. Yi Zichen also quickly returned to the dormitory after finally getting rid of this dogskin plaster. Yi Zi, you got famous on the school forum again. The moment he entered the dormitory, Zhang Rue threw his phone towards Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen caught the phone and saw the top post on the forum. Fake rich second generation or real rich second generation. Life is like a drama. It all depends on acting skills. Below the post was a photo of Huang Ming hugging Yi Zichen's leg, as well as a close-up shot of Huang Ming's Porsche 911. Yi Zichen could only smile wryly at the editor's speculation, but what made him feel even more helpless was the student's reply. The replies below were divided into two factions. One side believed that Yi Zichen was a low-profile, rich second generation, while the other side believed that Yi Zichen was fighting for his position. The post had turned into a battlefield, with both sides holding their own views and arguing endlessly. Yi Zichen couldn't help but praise the school website's ability to spread information. When Yi Zichen went to class in the afternoon, he actually received invitations from several girls to have dinner together. That was something Yi Zichen had never encountered before. Although he was rather handsome, it wasn't the era where he relied on his looks to make a living. What made Yi Zichen even more helpless was that the school's gossip reporter also found him and said that he wanted to interview him. It really was the case of humans being afraid of being famous as pigs being afraid of being fat. Yi Zichen did not stop at school the entire day, and even his bros in the dorm had a face full of gossip. Thus, Yi Zichen had no choice but to go out of school alone to eat. Ding dong. Great Sage Sun sent you a private packet. Yi Zichen's phone rang as he sat at the barbecue stall and ate skewers. When he picked up his phone, he saw that the Monkey King had sent him a red packet. One who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. Recently, the Monkey King had communicated with him very frequently. Yi Zichen knew very clearly that the Monkey King just wanted to eat Wahan. He clicked it. Monkey Wine X5. Haha, old son, knew you were there. Thank you, Great Sage Sunday. You're too polite. These are all casually brewed by my children for fun. These 5 bottles were just brewed, so I thought of you. Haha, this old deity is truly flattered. As the saying goes, it's impolite not to reciprocate. Yi Zichen picked up his phone and sent the sprite on the table over. Monkey King received your red packet. Wow, what kind of treasure is this? This is what this little deity obtained recently. Good brothers should share it. Great Sage can have a taste. Okay, good brother, good brother. The Monkey King was clearly very excited, so he disappeared once again after replying. Approximately 2 minutes later, your intimacy level with the Monkey King increased by 30. Current intimacy level, 170, 30 away from trusted. Good treasure. It truly is a good treasure. It's good that Great Sage likes it. Yi Zichen understood Great Sage Sun quite well, so he was able to easily earn an intimacy level of 30. Seeing that he was about to reach trusted, Yi Zichen wondered what would happen after he leveled up. After exchanging a few simple greetings, Yi Zichen closed the chat window. Yi Zichen clicked open the monkey wine in the treasure chest, then looked at the lamb skewers in front of him, causing a smile to surface on his face. Monkey wine. Extract. A green gourd appeared in Yi Zichen's hands. When he opened the cork, the fragrance of wine wafted out. Good wine. At that moment, an old man from a nearby table walked towards Yi Zichen as he sniffed. Little brother, can you treat me to a drink? Of course. Yi Zichen wasn't a petty person, so he immediately poured a cup for the old man from the gourd. The fragrance of wine lingered outside the barbecue shop for a long time. Plenty of people who loved wine looked over, and even some women who didn't drink couldn't help but sniff a few more times. Monkey wine. The old man savored it for a moment. But it's more fragrant than the monkey wine, and the alcohol content seems to be a bit lower. No, I have to drink another mouthful. The old man muttered to himself, while Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He was able to tell from a single sip that this old man wasn't normal. Grandpa, you secretly drank again. A shout sounded out. The old man, who had a look of enjoyment, was shocked. He immediately drank all of the wine in the cup in one gulp, without caring about tasting it carefully. Then, he started to sing with his legs crossed as if nothing had happened. Grandpa, the doctor said that you can't drink. When did I drink? The old man pretended to be dumb. You're still saying that you didn't drink? I saw it all just now. What's more, the smell of alcohol hasn't dispersed yet, so you have to make things up even if you want to. What's more, you didn't drink, so why did you come to someone else's table? There are so many people in the barbecue shop that drink. How can you say that I drank it? The old man also started to act shamelessly. At the same time, he indicated towards Yi Zichen. I saw that this lad was too bored eating skewers by himself, so I came to chat with him. Don't you think so, lad? The old man signaled towards Yi Zichen, wanting Yi Zichen to help him lie, but he noticed that Yi Zichen was already stunned. Chapter 13. School Bell, Su Yan's Marriage String. I'd like to ask if that's the case. Su Yan pouted, then looked towards Yi Zichen. Was it my grandfather who drank just now? Hey, why is it you? Su Yan might not have known Yi Zichen before, but with Yi Zichen's recent popularity in school, it was hard for her not to know him. Su Yan. This was the first time Yi Zichen had spoken to his goddess at such a close distance. What's more, it was the goddess who spoke first. He was so stunned that he was a bit tongue-tied. Having lived for so long, the old man was definitely a shrewd person. In just a moment, he saw some clues. You know each other? He's in the same university as me, Su Yan explained. The old man's eyes flashed as he smiled at Su Yan. All right, Grandpa will tell you the truth. Grandpa did drink, but don't blame me, young man. I was the one who had to drink with others. But the doctor... What's wrong with the doctor? Do you think my precious granddaughter will tell on me? Besides, the doctor told me not to eat barbecue. Didn't you sneak me here? The old man grinned and looked at Su Yan with a slightly threatening gaze. You're being unreasonable. Yan was so angry that she bit her lips. She brought old man Su here because she saw how stifled he was living at home every day. He had good intentions, but he didn't expect old Master Su to bite back at him. That is treated as Grandpa being unreasonable. If you tell anyone about us drinking, I'll say that you brought me here to eat barbecue. Both of us won't end up well. Su Yan immediately lost her temper. What do you want to do? This is Grandpa's precious granddaughter. Go and buy Grandpa 2 bottles of mineral water to rinse his mouth. Otherwise, it will be bad if your father smells it when we get home. Can't you buy it here? You're not thinking of secretly drinking, are you? Is Grandpa that kind of person? Quickly go. I'll believe you this time. Su Yan pursed her lips and left the barbecue stand. Yi Zichen's gaze remained on Su Yan the entire time. As expected of the #1 campus belle in the school. Even when she was angry, she was still so beautiful. Moreover, she doesn't look like she has any makeup on. She was already so beautiful without any makeup. How beautiful would she be with makeup? Old man Su took in all of Yi Zichen's actions. He only waved his hand in front of Yi Zichen's eyes when he couldn't see Su Yan anymore. Young man, Only then did Yi Zichen return to his senses. When he saw Elder Su's playful smile, he felt a bit nervous. What's your name? Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen. Old man Su nodded slightly, then gestured towards the direction Su Yan left. What do you think of my granddaughter? Yi Zichen was a bit confused by old man Su's question, but he still replied. Su Yan is the famous campus belle of Polytechnic University. She's pretty, kind-hearted, and diligent in her studies. In short, she's good at everything. Is that so? A meaningful smile flashed across old Master Su's eyes. How about we make a deal? Yi Zichen walked very slowly on the way back to school, but his heart beat very quickly, for no other reason than the fact that the school's goddess, Su Yan, was by his side. However, although the two of them were walking together, neither of them spoke. After a long time, Su Yan was the first to break the silence. Did you make some sort of deal with my grandpa? Yi Zichen's heart jumped. Su Yan really was right. However, old man Su warned him time and time again not to tell anyone, so he could only force himself to say it. No, Tisk, don't hide it from my grandpa, I know everything. Su Yan twitched her mouth and said. When he left, his waist bulged so much. If I didn't guess wrong, you should have bought alcohol for him, right? It's fine if she's pretty, but she's also so smart. Is she even trying to kill me? Yi Zichen let out a long sigh in his heart. When he thought about how Su Yin tried her best to stop Elder Su from drinking outside the barbecue shop, he quickly explained. My alcohol is different from other alcohol. Even if old man Su drinks it, there won't be any problems. It will only be beneficial to his body. Whatever, I've never heard of any alcohol being good for the body. But don't worry, I don't blame you, Su Yin smiled. Yi Zichen coincidentally saw her smile, causing him to be completely stunned. So pretty, Yi Zichen replied in a daze. Hearing that, Su Yin blushed for some reason. She had clearly heard these words many times, but for some reason, she actually had a different feeling when it came from Yi Zichen's mouth. Su Yin shouted in order to hide the strange feeling in her heart. Hey, what are you blanking out for? My grandpa told you to escort me back to the dorm safely. Oh. Yi Zichen quickly walked over, while checking out Su Yan's face from the corner of his eyes. Su Yan also blushed slightly. All of a sudden, the atmosphere between the two of them actually became a bit romantic. Oh yeah, what exactly is your identity? The school gossip website has been full of news about you recently. Su Yin broke the silence once again. Yi Zichen patted his forehead helplessly and sighed. Why is even the school beauty so gossipy? Girls all like to gossip. Isn't the school beauty a person? Su Yin rebuked. Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile. As they chatted, the two of them returned to Su Yan's dorm. Su Yin pursed her lips and waved towards Yi Zichen as she walked into the dorm. Su Yin suddenly turned around. She didn't know why she had such a huge reaction. What was more terrifying was that she was actually hoping for something to happen in her heart. Good night. That was the only thing Yi Zichen said after hesitating for a long time. For some reason, Su Yin actually felt a bit of disappointment in her heart, but she still replied with a smile. You too, rest early. I'm going back. Yi Zichen waved towards Su Yan with a smile. When Su Yan's figure disappeared from his sight, Yi Zichen slapped his thigh and cursed. F*CK coward. Why is it so hard to get a phone number? Was it that easy to get in touch with a goddess? It was such a good opportunity. If he missed it, then he might have missed it forever. Just as Yi Zichen was silently feeling annoyed, ding dong, you received a marriage string. Marriage string? Yi Zichen clicked open the treasure chest and saw a red string inside. Marriage string. 1,000 miles of marriage linked by a single thread. Handmade by Yu Lao. The holder is Yi Zichen. The holder is Su Yan. Current affability level, 10. What the hell is this? Yi Zichen was completely confused as he looked at the marriage string on his phone. I just gotta know Su Yan. How did it become marriage? Could it be that he and Su Yan were destined to be together? But what was the use of affability level? It didn't say how much they could be together. Ding dong. Chapter 14. It's all Yu Lao's fault. Yu Lao wants to add me as a friend. This was the second deity to add Yi Zichen as a friend after the Monkey King. Thinking of the marriage string in the treasure chest, it seemed like it was Moon Lord's doing. Add. Fellow Taoist. The moment he added it, Yu Lao sent Yi Zichen a message. Yu Lao, why are you looking for me? Yi Zichen replied, I wonder if fellow Taoist has received the marriage string? It was indeed Yu Lao's doing. Yi Zichen thought to himself, then glanced at the intimacy level. 100. Since their intimacy level was friendly, then Yi Zichen wasn't afraid of any problems. I have received Yu Lao's marriage rope. Thank you, Yu Lao. It's just a small matter. This old man is only playing the role of a matchmaker and establishing a good impression between you and her. As for what happens next, you'll have to work hard on your own. Yu Lao's words were completely different from the Monkey King's. If these words were said by Brother Monkey, he would definitely. This is just interesting. I have to thank Yu Lao for pulling the strings. There's a good saying that's good. One who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. There were so many strings that Yu Lao had to pull every day, but he purposely found him. It was obvious that he had a purpose. As Yi Zichen had expected, Yu Lao replied not long after he sent the message, You're right. I just returned from the great sage's place. He wanted a private package. Although Yu Lao's words were very tactful, since he mentioned the great sage, it was clear that he already knew a bit about Yi Zichen's situation from the great sage. He thought about what he had on hand, and Yu Lao's age. He scanned Yushi in his hand and sent it over. Ding dong. Yu Lao has received your red packet. Fellow cultivator, may I know what this is? This is Xiao Xian. Yi Zichen blabbered on for a long time with Yu Lao, then sent the lighter scan over. Yu Lao, these two items are extremely rare. You mustn't let other fellow immortals know about them. Otherwise, I don't have any extra for the other fellow immortals. Sure. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Yu Lao increased by 50. Current intimacy level, 150. You are 50 away from trusted. A pack of cigarettes increased my intimacy by 50 points. TSK, that's quite a lot. It's impolite not to reciprocate. Fellow Taoist has given this old man such a precious item, so I can't be stingy. Ding dong. A red envelope appeared on the screen. Look, what do you mean by knowing how to conduct oneself? Look at old man Yu. It would be impolite not to reciprocate. To great sage Sun, it had always been a token gesture, but this Yu Lao still knew how to return the favor. He opened a red envelope. He received Yu Lao's red packet, a 3 pure ones blessed jade pendant. This is a jade pendant that I asked the 3 pure ones to consecrate. It can protect you, fellow Taoist. Thank you, Yu Lao. He impatiently took out the jade pendant and wore it around his neck. A refreshing feeling spread from his heart to his entire body. It was so comfortable that all the pores on his body opened up involuntarily. Good stuff. Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile when he saw Yu Lao and the Monkey King in his WeChat contacts. This was just the beginning. If more people took the initiative to add him in the future, wouldn't the heavenly courts drinking carbonated drinks, smoking cigarettes, and playing mahjong? Just thinking about it was interesting. When Yi Zichen returned to the dorm, his roommates were playing League of Legends together. After rejecting his roommate's invitation, Yi Zichen washed up simply, then laid down on the bed. A silent night passed. All of you, wake up. A lion's roar sounded out from the dorm. His roommates opened their eyes in a daze and saw Zhang Rue, who was on the upper bunk, yelling with his phone. What are you yelling for? Can you let me sleep? Sleep what sleep? The goddess cheated. What? All of a sudden, all of his roommates lost their sleepiness. The goddess that Zhang Rue spoke of was Su Yan. As for cheating, it meant that the goddess was no longer single and cheated in their hearts. F***CK. Lousy wants to see who actually dares to hit on the goddess. Yi Zichen's heart couldn't help but jump. The person up there can't be him, right? Yi Zichen sneaked a peek, and a familiar scene caused his scalp to tingle. He told his roommate something, then frantically ran out of the dorm. Wait, the person up there, it's Fifth Bro. Chase him. It was unknown who shouted, but everyone in the dorm immediately chased after Yi Zichen while wearing only a pair of shorts. Susu, there are rumors about you on the school internet. As Yi Zichen walked towards the school canteen, Keek's eyes burned with the flames of gossip as she smiled at Su Yan, who was beside her. The man up there is still that hot topic. They're all rumors. Su Yan blushed for some reason. Kiki smiled playfully, but at that very moment, her eyes suddenly lit up and she waved towards Yi Zichen. Hey, Rish bro. Yi Zichen was being kidnapped by his roommates to the canteen. He knew that something would happen, so he ran ahead of time. However, Kong Peng was a sports student. It was too easy to catch him. With no other choice, he could only get them to threaten him to treat him to breakfast. Yi Zi, they seem to be calling you. Kong Peng suddenly bumped into Yi Zichen, causing the surrounding people to also look over. School beauty Xia Kiki, the goddess beside her. Zhang Rue pushed up his spectacle-less glasses. Yi Zichen also looked up, and coincidentally, Su Yan also looked over. Zoom. The two of them blushed for some reason. Rish bro, what a coincidence. Xia Kiki forcefully pulled Su Yan over. Yi Zichen peeked at Su Yan and was completely confused when he heard what Xia Kiki called him. What the hell is Rish bro? Rish bro is your nickname on the school website. Your fan group gave it to you. Kong Peng muttered on the side. Fan group. Yi Zichen also revealed a helpless expression. At the same time, he looked up towards Xia Kiki and laughed. Hello, Yi Zichen. Hee hee, I'm Xiaokiki. I'm Su Yan's best friend. Xiaokiki reached out her white hand. Yi Zichen touched it lightly under the jealous gazes of his roommates, then instantly let go, then greeted Su Yan. Morning. You too. Su Yan smiled, but her face still carried a hint of shyness. Xiaokiki saw all of Su Yan's expression. When she looked towards Yi Zichen, the gossip in her eyes became even more intense. The burning embers seemed like they were going to burn Yi Zichen into ashes. Rish bro, you guys should be going to the canteen as well, right? Coincidentally, Susu and I are going as well. How about we go together? Xiaoki's eyes were filled with a sly smile. Yi Zichen originally didn't want to agree. His and Su Yan's scandal had spread like wildfire on the school website. He didn't know what kind of trouble would happen if they ate breakfast at the same table. However, the surrounding wolves didn't agree. School beauty Xiaokiki, school beauty Su Yan. It was an unparalleled honor to be able to eat with these two goddesses. OL5, agree to her. Easy, if you don't agree to her, then our friendship of so many years will end here. Fifth bro, I won't threaten you. Either way, if you don't agree, then don't blame me if your Soyuz drops to bronze. F*CK. Is this a F*King threat? Chapter 15. Suddenly becoming a father, the breakfast in the school cafeteria was very simple. It was just porridge and soy milk. Due to the goddess's words, all of Yi Zichen's roommates went to buy breakfast, leaving only Su Yan, Xiaokiki, and Yi Zichen at the table. Rish bro, how did you get to know our Susu? Yi Zichen glanced over at Su Yan, but saw that she kept her head down in silence. Su Yan, I didn't expect to see you here. At that moment, a clear voice mixed with a hint of surprise sounded out. Hearing that, Yi Zichen turned around and saw Fu Qingming quickly walk towards their table. Fu Qingming was definitely a famous person in the school. There were many legends about him on the school forum. It was said that his father was the boss of the Glorious Sunlight Corporation, and that his family was so rich that they could use a train to transport goods. Furthermore, his pretty boy appearance was quite liked by the female students in the school. However, there were also rumors that Fu Qingming had always been pursuing the goddess, Su Yan. Yi Zichen just didn't know what their relationship was like. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked towards Su Yan and noticed that Su Yan's expression wasn't so good. It seems like this Fu Qingming really hit a wall with Su Yan. Su Yan, why are you eating breakfast here? What does it have to do with you that I'm eating breakfast there? Su Yan's tone carried a hint of distance. Xiaokiki twitched her mouth. Young Master Fu, I'll be very unhappy if you talk like that. What? Is Susu wronging her by eating with me in the cafeteria? Fu Qingming's expression froze. He definitely didn't dare to offend Xiaokiki. It wasn't because of how strong her background was, but rather because her background was too mysterious. Back then, when they had just entered the school, a third-year senior wanted to date Xiaokiki. That third-year senior's family was rather powerful, but when Xiaokiki refused, he used some forceful methods. However, after that, the senior's entire family directly went in, and had yet to come out even now. After that, the school no longer dared to have any bad thoughts towards Xiaokiki. Although it was a beautiful rose, it had thorns. I definitely didn't mean it like that. Fu Qingming smiled brightly. Xiaokiki snorted, then raised her eyebrows towards Yi Zichen. Rish bro, someone wants to steal Susu from you. Aren't you going to do anything? Yi Zichen was speechless. This girl truly didn't care about causing trouble. However, Chongguan's anger for a beauty was not just for show. I don't care what background Fu Qingming has. So what if I fight him head-on? Young Master Fu, can I get to know you? Yi Zichen stood up and reached out his hand towards Fu Qingming. Fu Qingming frowned and ignored him. Instead, he looked at Su Yan and asked, Su Yan, what happened? What do you mean? I came here to eat with him. Do you understand now? He didn't know why, but from Su Yan's words, he could sense her disgust towards fame. Yi Zichen's frozen hand scratched his neck, then took a step forward, placing himself between Fu Qingming and Su Yan. Young Master Fu, let's go. Who do you think you're to point fingers in front of me? Do you think you have the right to speak here? Fu Qingming was also a bit annoyed. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth and shrugged. Are you deaf? Suyin clearly told you that she's here to eat with me. Then of course I have the right to speak. Stop wasting time here. I lose my appetite when I see your red underpants. You. Fu Qingming's expression darkened. Say it again. I said, I lose my appetite when I see your red underpants. Say, you're so shameless. A man wearing red underpants. It's fine if you wear red underpants, but you're even wearing triangular ones. What? Do you want to show that you're interesting, or do you want to be Superman? If you want to be Superman, then you should put it on your head. Why are you wearing it inside? I understand. You haven't transformed yet, right? Then do you need me to give you an opportunity to transform? With that, Yi Zichen strained his neck and shouted, Boss, someone wants to hit me. All of a sudden, his roommates in the dorm all hurried over and stood beside Yi Zichen. Come, transform. If you don't, then you, Superman, might get beaten up. Yi Zichen, you've got guts. Oh, you know me. But don't try to get close to me. I'm just asking you if you're going to transform or not. If you don't, then get beaten up. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. The reason why Fu Qingming could act like a tyrant in school was because of his lackeys. Now that his lackeys weren't by his side, and Yi Zichen's people were looking at him covetously, I'll remember you. Yi Zichen glared darkly at Yi Zichen, then turned to leave. Take care, I won't send you off. Yi Zichen sat down on the chair once again after sending Fu Qingming away. Unbeknownst to him, Xia Kik's eyes were already filled with little stars. Her eyes looked as if they were about to release electricity. Wow, Susu is so blessed. Tyrant Bro must be angry for a beauty. Shut your mouth. Su Yin knocked Xia Kik's head, then looked towards Yi Zichen worriedly. You have to be careful of Fu Qingming. That guy has plenty of dirty tricks up his sleeves. Are you concerned about me? The corner of Yi Zichen's mouth raised slightly as he stared into Su Yan's eyes. Only a ghost would care for you. Su Yan rolled her eyes at Yi Zichen, but it was no different from a couple flirting. Ding dong. Your affability level with Su Yan increased by 30. Current affability level, 40. Yi Zichen smiled when he received the notification. It was a good thing that affability level increased, but he didn't know how many people he needed to increase it to. Yi Zichen's table was filled with the smell of love. However, Fu Qingming, who was at the cafeteria staircase, clenched his teeth so hard that they nearly shattered. Yellow hair, help me teach someone a lesson. Polytechnic University's Yi Zichen. I'll send the photos to your phone later. He didn't eat breakfast for nothing. He even added Su Yin and Xia Kiki on WeChat. Yi Zichen had wanted to take the chance to ask Su Yin out for a walk, but since the goddess had class in the morning, he could only give up. The guys in the dorm went back to playing games. Yi Zichen's gaming skills were the worst in the dorm. Even his support roommates sometimes didn't want to carry him. Left with no other choice, he could only squat on the road. He quietly took out a cigarette, put it in his mouth, and walked towards the side of the road. Just then, a little girl about 5 or 6 years old ran into the middle of the road, and behind her, a truck was driving towards her. Looking at the speed of the truck, even if the driver wanted to step on the brakes, it would be too late. F***. Zichen chucked the cigarette onto the ground, then ran towards the girl in the middle of the road without any time to think. Dong! The truck smashed into Yi Zichen's back, causing him to fly 5 or 6 meters away, while he held the girl tightly in his arms. Crack! The jade pendant on Yi Zichen's neck shattered. He didn't care about the pain in his back at all, and squatted down in the middle of the road to put the girl in front of him. Are you okay? Yi Zichen rubbed the girl's head. The girl blinked, then tilted her head and looked at him a few times. Then, her eyes suddenly revealed a look of surprise as she leaped into his arms and muttered. Chapter 16. Rawstone auction. Yi Zichen's action of saving people attracted the attention of a large number of people, causing the truck driver to jump out of the truck in a panic. However, when he saw that Yi Zichen was completely unharmed, he stood rooted to the spot as if he'd seen a ghost. He had no idea what to say. He had been sent flying for 5 or 6 meters, yet he was completely fine. Could this person be Superman? Yi Zichen was also shocked. What did the girl just call him? Daddy. The little girl snuggled tightly into his arms. At this moment, a panic-stricken woman ran over from the shopping mall across the road. Tian, When the girl in his arms heard the woman's call, she jumped out of Zichen's arms and ran towards the woman. "Mom, Tian Tian, you scared Mommy to death." The woman squatted in front of Tian Tian and looked at the little girl repeatedly, afraid that something might happen to her. Yi Zichen was momentarily dazed when he saw the woman's face. The woman in front of him was extremely beautiful, comparable to the goddess Su Yin. More importantly, she had the charm that a mature woman should have. Her sweet smile carried a hint of seductiveness. Yi Zichen couldn't help but think to himself, whoever marries this woman, if he didn't let her squeeze him dry, he would be considered cold. After repeatedly confirming that Tian Tian wasn't injured, the woman stood up and walked towards Yi Zichen. "Thank you so much for saving Tian Tian. This is my name card. How should I address you?" Yi Zichen received the name card. "Precious jewelry, Xiao Yumei." Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen shrugged, then played with the name card in his hand. "I'm just a poor student. I don't have a name card for you." "Dad." At that moment, Tian Tian leaped into Yi Zichen's arms. All of a sudden, a hint of awkwardness surfaced on their faces. "Tian Tian, don't shout." Xiao Yumei pulled Tian Tian to her side, then took out a card from her wallet and handed it to Yi Zichen. "Although this is a little tacky, I really don't know how to repay you. There's 100,000 in this card. Just take it as." Before Xiao Yumei finished, Yi Zichen pushed the card back. "I don't need this card. It seems that you are Tian Tian's mother. What I wanted to say was, in the future, don't let Tian Tian cross the road by herself. She's still too young. It's too dangerous. I saved her this time, but she might not be so lucky next time." Yi Zichen pinched Tian Tian's cheeks, then brushed off the dust on his body and left. Mom, Dad left. Tian Tian's face scrunched up, then she pointed at Yi Zichen's back. Xiao Yumei grabbed the little girl's hand and put it down, shaking her head. "That's not Dad. You can't just call him that, okay? If you see him again, you must call him Big Brother." He removed the jade pendant from his neck. The originally sparkling emerald green jade pendant was now covered in cracks and had lost its luster. As expected, Yulao did not lie to him. This jade pendant could really save a life. Thinking back to the situation just now, if it wasn't for this jade pendant, perhaps he would have died. At that moment, Yi Zichen's phone rang. "Yezi, give me your coordinates." After Yi Zichen told Su Yun his location, he immediately hung up. In less than 3 minutes, a fiery red sports car appeared in front of him. Su Yun pushed open the car door and waved towards Yi Zichen. "Get in." Yi Zichen had thought that Su Yun wanted to find him for something, but it turned out that this guy was invited to an auction. He felt that he was bored, so he brought Yi Zichen over to broaden his horizons. "Are you interested in trying your luck?" Yi Zichen shook his head as he looked at the mountains of ores in the trading hall. "You better not touch these stones. If you really want to gamble, then tell me. You can only buy when I tell you to." "You know about stone gambling?" Su Yun asked in surprise. "Sort of." Yi Zichen nodded noncommittally. Most of the stones looked pretty good, but he could tell with a single glance whether or not they contained jade with his fiery eyes of truth. Stone gambling was like a knife in heaven and a knife in hell. However, from the looks of it, most of the people who participated in the auction were about to go to hell. At the same time, an ore that exceeded 20 million was suddenly called out within the huge trading hall. Su Yun was instantly attracted by the news and dragged Yi Zichen towards the crowd. "Xiao Yumei, your company should need this or a lot, right?" Director Byte doesn't need to worry about whether or not we need this or... The person who participated in the auction was Xiao Yumei, who Yi Zichen had just met. As the boss of a jewelry store, she naturally wouldn't miss out on the bidding of ores. More importantly, her jewelry store was being maliciously attacked. In order to turn the store around, she especially needed an ore that could contain large amounts of jade. "Elder Liu, are you sure that this stone can contain large amounts of jade?" Xiao Yumei looked at the elder beside her. This elder was the consultant of their jewelry store and was a rather famous expert in the stone gambling circle. "Director Xiao, do you still doubt my judgment? This stone definitely contains jade." The elder replied rather impatiently. Xiao Yumei couldn't help but frown at his arrogant look. Although this elder was an expert, He was helping her for free. She also provided him with a few $100,000 per month. Both of them had an employer and employee relationship. The elder's attitude caused Xiao Yumei to be very displeased. However, there was no helping it. She could only endure it due to the current situation of her jewelry store. A lot of money was invested into this, so I have to be more careful, Xiao Yumei replied with a smile, then called out once more. 23 million. Yeezy, do you think that this will contain jade? Su Yin glanced at the huge ore. The ore seemed to be very transparent, and the lines were clear. Faint green moss could be seen from the outside. If there were no accidents, this sort of stone would definitely contain jade, and the quality would also be extremely high. No, Yi Zichen shook his head. Yi Zichen shook his head. The stone did seem like it could give out jade, but that was only on the surface. Are you sure? Don't be fooled by the appearance. The more it looks like it can contain jade, the less likely it will. In the end, you'll lose everything. 25 million. The price of the ear gradually increased. Xiao Yumei clenched her teeth and increased the price once again. 30 million. The moment the sky-high price appeared, both the stone gamblers and the boss of the jewelry business sucked in a breath of cold air. Yi Zichen was also attracted by the rather domineering price, but he was instantly stunned when he saw the person. Why is it her? From the looks of it, Xiao Yumei was determined to get this stone. However, when Yi Zichen thought about the truth of this stone, he hesitated for a moment, then decided to tell Xiao Yumei the truth. Chapter 17. The so-called expert Director Xiao, you're going all out? A playful laugh sounded out. Xiao Yumei frowned and glared at him coldly. The reason why the jewelry store became like this was mostly because of this man in front of her. Hey, I say, why do women want to be so strong? Why don't you follow me and our two families merge into one? Wouldn't that be better? Dream on. Then I want to see how long you can last. The man with a sinister expression snickered, then snapped his fingers. 35 million. It seems like he's purposefully going against me. Xiao Yumei clenched her teeth as she looked at the rather attractive or in front of her. For Director Xiao, Yi Zichen hurried over before she could call out the price. Mr. Yi? Xiao Yumei revealed a hint of surprise in her eyes. Then a smile quickly surfaced. Yi Zichen saved her daughter without asking for anything in return. She had wanted to use her connections to find him, but she didn't expect to meet him here. Does Director Xiao want to buy that? Or, yeah, you also know that I'm in the jewelry business. The chances of this or giving out jade are extremely high, and the amount is also huge. Tell me, my jewelry store is in danger right now, so I need this or to turn things around. Xiao Yumei told him everything about her situation. This sort of thing shouldn't be told to outsiders. But for some reason, when she faced Yi Zichen, she always felt that he had a sort of magic that she couldn't bear to hide anything. Hearing that, Yi Zichen nodded and said softly, Director Xiao, if you buy this, then I feel like you really might not be able to turn things around. Xiao Yumei's expression tensed up. What did Yi Zichen mean? Could he be trying to tell me that this won't give out jade? Mr. Yi knows about stone gambling as well? Xiao Yumei asked in a testing manner. Yi Zichen laughed softly. Director Xiao, don't always call me Mr. Yi. It's weird to me. You can call me Yi Zi or Zichen. As for stone gambling, I do know a bit about it. If you know a bit, then don't speak nonsense here. This has clear lines. It's transparent and has a green color. There's moss on it. That's the sign of giving out jade. What are you planning by running over here and saying that this might not give out jade? Xiao Yumei's consultant, Elder Lu, suddenly started to make things difficult. Yi Zichen frowned, then glanced at the old man. Who is this old man? Zichen, this is our company's quarrying consultant. She's an expert in looking at stones. Expert. Nowadays, no matter what industry it was, there would always be a bunch of experts and experts popping up. They did not have any real skills and only knew how to talk. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth in disdain, then said to Elder Lu, Master Lu said that this raw stone will definitely contain jade, right? Of course, Elder Lu said confidently. Then what if it doesn't? Yi Zichen suddenly asked. Elder Lu frowned. There's no way this rock wouldn't give out jade. Don't worry about whether it will come out or not. I'm asking you, what if it doesn't come out? Yi Zichen stared closely at Elder Lu. Elder Lu looked at the ore with a smile. Buying raw stones has always been proportional to the risk and profit. No one can guarantee that all the stones they buy will contain jade. If there is no jade, it can only be said that the appearance of the stone is deceiving everyone. In the end, you're just talking without taking any risks, right? Yi Zichen snickered, then pointed at the huge ore. This is in or worth several tens of millions. You said that it will contain jade, and you made Director Xiao force himself to snatch it. If it contains jade, then you'll get a huge cut. If it doesn't, then you won't take any risks. Why do you get all the good stuff? Seeing that Yi Zichen and Elder Lu were about to start arguing, Xiao Yumei quickly comforted. Zichen, the rules of buying ores are like this. I do need this or rules bullsh asterisk T rules, Yi Zichen snorted. Director Xiao, if you believe me, then don't touch this rock. Xiao Yumei, do you still want this rock? When Director Bai saw Yi Zichen, who was beside Xiao Yumei, his dark gaze turned even more sinister. There's no need for Director Bai to worry. Several tens of millions isn't a small amount. Can't I consider it? Xiao Yumei scolded coldly, then looked towards Yi Zichen with a questioning gaze. Zichen, why aren't you letting me touch this rock? This rock won't give out jade, Yi Zichen replied softly. Xiao Yumei bit her lips, then looked at the extremely good-looking ore a few times, before finally choosing to believe Yi Zichen. When the rock landed in Director Bai's hands, he smiled coldly at Xiao Yumei, who was not far away. Director Xiao, this rock is the rock for you to turn over a new leaf. You actually gave it up just like that? What? You don't have enough money. I do indeed have no money. I hope that Director Bai will win. Xiao Yumei's expression was as cold as ice. A hint of greed flashed across Director Bai's eyes when he looked towards her. It will definitely win. It's just that Director Xiao. What a pity, it's such a good rock. As Director Bai spoke, he transferred the money over. The stonecutter on the side also asked, Director Bai, do you want to cut it here, or do you want to go back and cut it yourself? I'll cut it here. The appearance of this rock was extremely good. It was very likely that it would give out jade, and it would be a huge amount of jade. Xiao Yumei gave up halfway. If it really did give out jade, then it would be a great blow to her. Director Xiao is going to regret it. Elder Lu also laughed coldly on the side. Xiao Yumei did not mind Elder Lu's cold water and stared straight at the ore. Although she believed Yi Zichen's words, she was still a bit nervous in her heart. If it really did give out jade, then she would definitely regret giving up halfway. The fact that an extremely expensive ore was going to be cut on the spot immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the auction hall. The stonecutter looked respectfully at Director Bai. Director Bai, how do you think we should cut it? Director Bai picked up a piece of chalk and drew 3 lines on the rock. Director Bai, how do you think we should cut it? Just cut it according to this line. The ore was already very large, and since it was inconvenient to move the rock, they could only move the machine. Under the simultaneous actions of the 3 stonecutter masters, the cutting machine was finally placed on the line that Director Bai had drawn. Screech, a white mist, accompanied by the sound of the cutting machine, appeared in everyone's line of sight amidst the deafening sound. At that moment, everyone's heart was in their throats. The scene suddenly turned silent, and only the sound of the cutting machine echoed throughout the auction hall. Crack! As the saw cut deeper, the ore was split into 2. The grayish-white cut was extremely eye-catching at that moment, causing Director Bai's face to instantly turn green. This isn't right. I should see jade if I cut it according to his line. It's over, it's over. Someone in the crowd shouted out in schadenfreude, while Elder Lu also frowned. The happiest person was Xiao Yumei. She could tell from the cut that even if it were gave out jade, it definitely wouldn't be worth the price. Director Bai looked at the rock with a green expression. Losing money was a small matter. Losing face was a huge matter. What's more, the ore was extremely large. Although a piece was cut, he couldn't jump to conclusions. Chapter 18. Buying a useless rock. Expert Lu, didn't you say that this ore would definitely give out jade? Yi Zichen smiled playfully as he looked at the gray-white cut. No one knows what the result will be until the end. Elder Lu replied forcefully. At the same time, Director Bai also started the second cut. It was still a gray-white cut without any hint of green. It's ruined. It's definitely ruined. Cut again. It was still a gray-white cut. Cut again. When he made the second cut, many knowledgeable people already knew that the ore was definitely ruined. However, Director Bai did not give up. He refused to believe that such a good-looking or was actually a useless rock in the end. After 6 cuts, the huge raw stone was cut into pieces. Only then did Director Bai stop talking as he looked at the shattered rocks on the ground with a dark expression. Director Bai is truly generous, buying a useless rock with several tens of millions. He is definitely a role model for our industry. When Xiao Yumei saw that the rock really didn't give out any jade, she didn't forget to criticize Director Bai, who was always going against her, in addition to being surprised at Yi Zichen's professionalism. Xiao Yumei, don't get too cocky. This time, I did lose money in stone gambling, but I can afford it. But what about you? If you can't buy good jade in this auction, then just wait for your jewelry store to close. Director Bai snorted, turned around, and left the crowd. Because of his words, Xiao Yumei's good mood was completely swept away. Yeah, if she can't get a good rock this time, then she... Expert Lu, why didn't this rock give out any jade? For some reason, Yi Zichen just didn't like this expert. When the rock completely collapsed, he walked in front of him and mocked, "Stone gambling is all about luck. Stone gambling is all about luck. That stone should have been green from its appearance, but who would have thought that it was just a layer on the surface, deceiving everyone? Don't find so many excuses if you're not skilled. Why didn't this rock trick me?" Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. "I just said that this rock doesn't give out any jade. I wonder who was the one who refuted me so angrily. Young man, this old man has been in the circle for 10-odd years. I've seen more ores than the rice you've eaten. You only got it right once. Don't be too cocky." Elder Lu said like an elder scolding a junior. Yi Zichen shrugged, then looked around the ores and the surroundings. A black square piece of material entered Yi Zichen's sight. The stone was not small. It was at least 100 kilograms. However, because this material did not have any patterns or green, it had already become a useless rock in the eyes of the people in the venue. "What do you think of this stone, Mr. Lu?" "A piece of useless rock." Master Lu glanced down and replied. "Director Xiao." Yi Zichen waved toward Xiao Yumei. "Zichen, I didn't have time to thank you just now. Fortunately, you told me not to buy that stone. Otherwise, I would have lost everything." "You're welcome, President Xiao. You don't have to call me Mr. Xiao. I seem to be older than you. If you don't mind, just call me Sister Xingmei." Yi Zichen truly helped her out a lot. She only had a bit more than 40 million in liquid funds. If the stone she bought had failed, she might have jumped off the building. "Sister Mei." Yi Zichen did not hesitate. Having such a beautiful sister was something that others couldn't get even if they wanted to. See if there are any ores you like here. Older sister will buy one for you. Sis, buy this stone." Yi Zichen pointed at the black square stone. "This one?" Xiao Yumei frowned. Although she didn't know how to judge a stone just by looking at it, she did know a bit about it. This stone was clearly a useless one. It would definitely be a failure if she bought it. This stone is clearly a useless one. How about older sister choose another one for you? "Don't worry, Sister Qian will pay for you," Xiao Yumei said kindly. Yi Zichen had helped her several times. Since he didn't want her money, she wanted to repay him in other ways. "No need. Just because it looks good doesn't mean that it will give out jade. Wasn't that one just now a lesson?" The moment Yi Zichen said that, Director Bai and Elder Lu, who were not far away, both tensed up. Xiao Yumei also nodded with a smile. Since Yi Zichen wanted to buy this one, then she'll buy it. "I'll take this stone." Xiao Yumei handed the card over. Seeing that, Elder Lu couldn't help but shake his head. It would be weird if the company didn't go bankrupt if you don't use your money where it's most important. "Elder Lu, please watch your words." Xiao Yumei's expression turned cold. She didn't even have time to settle the score with this old man. She didn't even have time to deal with this geezer. She didn't cause trouble for him, but she didn't think that he would actually say such depressing words in front of her. Director Bai, who had just lost a lot in stone gambling, also laughed coldly. Director Xiao, it can't be that the jewelry store gave you too much pressure and made you go crazy, right? You specifically bought a useless stone? Director Bai, right? Yi Zichen glanced at Director Bai. Director Bai's mind was rather clear just now. You used several tens of millions to buy a useless stone. How heroic. Say that again. Director Bai nearly coughed up blood in anger when he mentioned his sore spot. He raised his finger to point at Yi Zichen's nose, but heard a cold laugh from the side. If you don't want your finger to be separated from your hand, then take your hand back. Young Master Su. The person who spoke up for Yi Zichen just now was Su Yun. When Director Bai saw him, it was like a mouse seeing a cat, causing his forehead to be covered in sweat. My brother can buy whatever he wants. What does that have to do with you? Do you have a good, I'd spend tens of millions to buy a piece of waste rock? Let me tell you, even if my brother fails, I can still afford it. Young Master Su is right. Get lost. Xiao Yumei looked at Su Yun, who was walking towards them, in astonishment after Su Yun scolded Director Bai away. Young Master Su. President Xiao. Su Yun was very friendly toward Xiao Yumei, through his relationship with Yi Zichen. I didn't expect Zichen to actually be young Master Su's friend. It seems like older sister was blind. I actually wanted to help you buy the ore. You can buy the ore yourself, right? Xiao Yumei took a step back, but Yi Zichen shook his head. Sister Mei, I'm just a poor student. This ore is so big that I definitely can't afford it. You should buy it for me. A strange look flashed across Su Yun's eyes. He understood Yi Zichen. Although he liked to screw people over, he definitely wouldn't screw over someone he was familiar with. What's more, he had at least 5 million in his card. This rock that didn't look good was at most 2,000 per kilogram. He could easily buy it. However, Yi Zichen chose to let Xiao Yumei buy this rock. Could it be that this rock would give out jade? All right, then older sister will buy it for you. Xiao Yumei did not hesitate and directly bought the ore for Yi Zichen. I think you intentionally came to screw Director Xiao over, Elder Lu said indifferently. Elder Lu said indifferently once again. Yi Zichen merely smiled in response, then called the stone-cutting master over. Chapter 19. Xiao Yumei's marriage string. The price of the ore was 660,000. It was a very good number. Hearing that someone was going to cut open the stone, some of the jewelers all came over. However, when they saw Yi Zichen's stone, they all lost interest. Who's so stupid to buy this stone? Yeah, it would be weird if this crappy stone gave out jade. The comments were almost one-sided. Everyone thought that there would be no jade in this stone. Master Lu's mouth was also full of a sneer. If the stone could give out jade, then he would eat the useless stone that Director Bai cut just now. Director Xiao, how do you want to cut it? The stone cutter moved the stone down. Xiao Yumei smiled and let Yi Zichen out. Ask him. A golden light flashed in Yi Zichen's eyes. After thinking for a while, he held the chalk, not knowing how to start. What are you drawing for? Just cut it across the waist. OL3. Yi Zichen suddenly called Su Yun over. What if the surface is too close to jade and can't be cut? Rub. Why are you cursing? I said rub. Su Yun rolled his eyes and made a gesture of rubbing the stone. Only then did Yi Zichen understand and shouted towards the stone cutter. Rub it. Ugh. The surrounding people instantly snickered. This kind of stone needs to be rubbed? Does he really think that this stone is completely green? He's going crazy thinking about money. Elder Lu also mocked on the side. The customer was king. Since the other party asked to rub the stone, then the stone cutter naturally had to listen to their orders. The stone cutter took out the grindstone and rubbed it with all his might. White powder fell from the stone. It's green, it's green. When the surrounding people with sharp eyes saw the green color, the stone cutter was also shocked. Pour water. When a bucket of water was poured down, the emerald green color was extremely eye-catching. Imperial green. Everyone in the scene was shocked. Such a normal-looking stone actually gave out jade, and it was imperial green. Elder Lu's face looked like he had eaten fly shit. This was a blatant slap to his face. Sir, do you still want to cut it? Continue. Yi Zichen smiled. The stone cutter once again rubbed. This kind of imperial green jade could only be found by chance. Even if they cut open stones every day, they wouldn't be able to find many such stones, so when they cut open the stones, they became even more diligent. It's rising by a lot. The surrounding people cried out in shock. Xiao Yumei also covered her mouth with her hand as her eyes widened. It actually increased. Another basin of water was poured down, and the green on the raw stone was particularly eye-catching. Mr. Continue. Yi Zichen smiled confidently. He knew very well whether the green color of the stone was green or full green, but it was different for the surrounding jewelers. Little brother, stop rubbing. What if it collapses? How about selling it to me for 10 million? Get lost. You want to buy Imperial Jade for 10 million? Are you trying to pick up a bargain? I'll pay 20 million. As the price continued to rise, Xiao Yumei bit her lips and looked at Yi Zichen. Zichen, can you sell this or to me? Sister Mei, you must be joking. This stone is yours since you bought it. Yi Zichen shrugged, then smiled toward Xiao Yumei. Xiao Yumei looked at Yi Zichen, who had a carefree expression, in shock. All of a sudden, she didn't know what to say. Who knew how many pendants could be produced from this Imperial Jade? It was worth at least 100 million. But the surrounding jewelers also stopped bidding when they heard the conversation between Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei. Xiao Yumei was rather famous in the circle. While the other jewelers were a bit jealous that she was able to gamble on such a good stone, they congratulated her even more. At this moment, Yi Zichen also walked towards Elder Lu. At that moment, Elder Lu's expression was extremely terrible. It's green. The Imperial Jade is full of green. Elder Lu, what do you think? This old man made a mistake. Elder Lu clenched his teeth and snorted. However, Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. Don't come here to harm others if you're not skilled enough. Expert? What a joke. Elder Lu couldn't even retort, so he could only swallow all the anger in his heart. Yi Zichen pursed his lips and smiled when he saw Elder Lu's embarrassed look. At this moment, Su Ian also walked over. Easy, what's going on? It really is green? Then why do you think I told Mei Jie to buy it if it doesn't? No, that Imperial Jade is worth at least 80 to 90 million. Since you know that it will definitely be green, why don't you buy it yourself? It's not like you can't afford it. Su Yun's face was filled with curiosity. That wasn't a small amount. Even he would be moved. All right, I'll give you an example. If you urgently need this jade to support your company, and I use my own money to buy it and give it to you, would you want it? No, it's too expensive. Then what if you used your own money? That's a bit easier to accept. Su Yun put himself in Xiao Yumei's shoes and thought for a moment, then quickly understood. You're intentionally helping Director Xiao. You're not too stupid. But Yi Zi, you're truly generous enough. You actually gave out jade worth over 100 million just like that. Su Yun raised his thumb towards Yi Zichen. Emergency, you know? Meijia's company is in trouble right now, so I'll help if I can. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at Su Yun. However, he didn't know that their conversation was completely heard by Xiao Yumei. Xiao Yumei always had the image of a strong woman in the eyes of others, but no one knew just how fragile her heart was. A strange feeling flashed through her heart when she heard Yi Zichen think about her so carefully. Ding dong. Marriage string 1X received. Marriage string again? Yi Zichen was shocked. He didn't do anything. Why did a marriage string appear again? Yi Zichen clicked open the treasure chest in his phone and saw that there were 2 marriage strings on it. One of them was for him and Su Yin. The other one, Possessor Yi Zichen, Possessor Xiao Yumei. Affability level, 100. F*CK. Yi Zichen was very confused. Why did he get marriage string with Xiao Yumei? What's more, the affability level was so high. It was actually 100. He and Su Yin were only 40, all right? Yi Zichen sneaked a glance at Xiao Yumei, then noticed that she was actually looking straight at him without any hesitation. The gentleness in her eyes seemed to be able to melt him. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Yi Zichen quickly turned his head. Since Xiao Yumei even has a daughter, then she clearly has a married family. What's up with this marriage string? A third party? At that moment, Xiao Yumei walked over towards Yi Zichen. Zichen, Meijia. Yi Zichen was very clear that Xiao Yumei had developed a good impression of him due to the existence of the marriage string. This caused him to feel a bit awkward when he spoke. This, is way too important to older sister. You truly helped older sister a lot. It's my honor to be able to help Magia. The more Xiao Yumei felt moved, the more obvious the gentleness in her eyes became. Su Yiyun, who was on the side, also felt the strange atmosphere, causing a meaningful smile to surface on his face. Zichen, you saved Tian Tian and helped older sister solve such a huge problem. Older sister doesn't know how to repay you. How about this? Come to older sister's house and older sister will personally cook for you. Chapter 20. 6th grade immortal pill body tempering pill. It was difficult to refuse such kindness. Yi Zichen followed Xiao Yumei back home. Tian Tian, who was watching anime on the sofa, directly jumped down from the sofa when she saw Yi Zichen. Dad. Yi Zichen looked at Tian Tian, who was hugging his leg tightly and giggling towards him, in shock. He didn't know what to do. Apologizing once was one thing, but if he kept apologizing like this, he would have to take the blame. Xiao Yumei also heard what Tian Tian called Yi Zichen, but this time she did not immediately stop her. Mrs. Tang, you should go home. I'll take care of Tian Tian. I don't have anything to do tonight. All right. The aunt in the villa, who was about 50 years old, smiled, untied her apron, and left the villa. Mom, did Dad come to see Tian Tian? Yeah. I'm here to see Tian Tian. Xiao Yumei pinched Tiantian's cheeks. Yi Zichen opened his eyes in shock. He didn't know why Xiao Yumei would reply Tian Tian like that. Tian Tian, go watch TV. Mommy has something to say to Daddy. Patting Tiantian's head, Tian Tian obediently ran to the sofa. Yi Zichen looked at Xiao Yumei in confusion. Tian Tian actually has severe autism. Yi Zichen was stunned. Xiao Yumei let out a sigh. Don't worry. Actually, Tian Tian is an adopted child. She has severe autism since she was young, and she has lacked a father's love for so many years. Tian Tian may have always longed for a father. I hope you don't mind her behaving like this. No, sweetie, this child is very cute. Besides, Sister May is so beautiful, and Tian Tian calls me daddy. It seems like I'm taking advantage of her. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. Hearing that, a hint of red flashed across Xiao Yumei's face. Zichen, you really know how to talk. How about this? You play with Tian Tian for a bit. I'll go and cook for you guys. All right, sorry to trouble you, Sister May. Xiao Yumei changed into home clothes and walked toward the kitchen, while Yi Zichen also walked beside Tian Tian. For some reason, Tian Tian clung onto Yi Zichen. The moment he sat down, Tian Tian clung onto him like a koala. Daddy, that was the only word Tian Tian had ever said to Yi Zichen. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen felt his nose twitch inexplicably. He really didn't expect the little girl in front of him to have severe autism. Sister May is also quite pitiful, a woman struggling outside. He gently stroked Tiantian's little head. Since this child needed a father's love, he would treat it as a white lie and not expose it. For a moment, Xiao Tian fell asleep in his arms. At this moment, Xiao Yumei was in the kitchen. She stood at the entrance of the kitchen and looked at Tian Tian, who was getting along very well with Yi Zichen. Actually, Tian Tian had seen a lot of men before she met Yi Zichen, but no matter who they were, Tian Tian would always stay far away from them. Only Yi Zichen, perhaps the heavens had dropped a curtain on the mother and daughter, stuffing another man into their world. This man was indeed much better than her ex, but am I really worthy of him? Xiao Yumei sighed and suppressed the strange thoughts in her heart. She turned around and walked into the kitchen. Ding dong. Your favorability with Xiao Yumei has decreased by 5 points. Current favorability is 95 points. Favorability level decreased. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Just what did I do that triggered Xiao Yumei to actually cause their favorability level to decrease? Yi Zichen couldn't figure it out no matter how he thought about it, so he took out his phone. He opened the WeChat group. It was as if deities didn't need to rest, as the WeChat group was abnormally busy 24/7. It was completely different from when Yi Zichen first entered the group. He couldn't help but think, could it be the butterfly effect after he entered the group? Yi Zichen scrolled up the chat history and saw several large red packets. The ones who sent the red packets were Erlang Shun and Tai Bai Jinxing. From the content of their chat, it seemed like they were playing a red packet game. Immortality, Peach Fairy. Old Lord Taishang, send the red packet. God of Thunder, Old Lord, stop hiding it. You got the most cultivation experience from this old man's red packet. It's your turn. Erlang Shun, I already sent it. Don't think about running. My howling celestial dog is watching. The deities continuously urged Old Lord Taishang to send the red packets. Old Lord Taishang could only send 3 sighing emojis helplessly. Then ding dong. F***CK. Yi Zichen had been waiting for a long time. The moment the red packet appeared, he clicked. Receive Old Lord Taishang's red packet. Body Enhancement Pill X1. What's this for? Yi Zichen clicked open the treasure chest and saw a golden pill placed in a slot behind the marriage string. Body Enhancement Pill, Level 6 Celestial Pill. Refined by Old Lord Taishang for 49 days. There are 49 pills in one cauldron. Effect, greatly increase the body's functions. Wow, good stuff. Yi Zichen sneaked a peek at the red packet group. Since it was a red packet game, there would naturally be more people sending it. However, what made him feel helpless was that the person with the most luck was God of Thunder, who was the most shameless. Thus, the red packet game stopped there. Yi Zichen lost interest since there were no more red packets to get. He chucked his phone to the side and hugged Lil Tian, who was in his arms, so that she could sleep more comfortably. The dinner that Xiao Yumei made was very simple. It was 3 dishes and 1 soup. Tian sat in the middle of Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei, making it seem like they were a family of 3. However, during the meal, Yi Zichen could feel that Xiao Yumei's attitude towards him was purposefully distant. After dinner, due to the decrease in affability level, Yi Zichen did not think that she would ask him to stay the night. What's more, he wouldn't be able to accept it if things progressed too quickly. Zichen, thank you so much. Xiao Yumei sent Yi Zichen out of the mansion. At the entrance of the mansion, Xiao Yumei thanked Yi Zichen sincerely. Magia, you really don't need to be so courteous. Big sister has a presumptuous request. I wonder if I can say it? Xiao Yumei hesitated for a moment, then bit her lips and said, Of course. Can you come to the mansion more often? Tian seems to like you a lot. Although Xiao Yumei wanted to distance herself from Yi Zichen, she subconsciously couldn't bear to let go of Yi Zichen just like that, especially since Tian liked him. Of course, no problem. Tian can find me whenever she wants to see me. Tian is still in her room by herself, so I won't be sending you off. Okay. After saying goodbye to Xiao Yumei, Yi Zichen casually called a taxi. Halfway there, the car slowly came to a stop. Yi Zichen, right? The driver suddenly spoke up. At the same time, Yi Zichen also noticed that the taxi did not stop at their school. Yes, what do I want to do? Chapter 21. A pure Dragon Ball enthusiast. On the outskirts of the city, he didn't expect that the other party would actually drive here. He blamed himself for playing with his phone when he was in the car and didn't pay attention to the road. Clap, clap. As the yellow-haired driver clapped his hands, 6 or 7 youths with colorful hair, similar to the yellow-haired driver, walked out from the bushes. Hey, big brother, you guys earn a lot of money in this line of work, right? Yi Zichen smiled like a grandchild. Although he was a bit confident in his abilities, it was hard for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. If he really fought with this group of people, he might not end up well. Moreover, this was the F***King suburbs. He still needed this group of people to send him back to school. Don't F***King talk nonsense with me. Choose for yourself. Which leg do you want? The blonde took out a baseball bat from nowhere and rested it on his shoulder. Brothers, don't be so hot-tempered. Why would there be violence in a harmonious society? Don't you think so? As Yi Zichen stalled for time, he put his right hand in his pocket and opened WeChat with his familiarity with his phone. Although he opened the WeChat app, he couldn't open the treasure chest. Brat, were you muttering in your pocket? Yellow hair poked Yi Zichen's hand with a baseball bat. Patter. The phone fell to the ground, and the blonde roared. F***CK. If you want to call the police, call me. Green and red hair immediately surrounded him. In times of crisis, People would always explode with unlimited potential. Yi Zichen was no exception. He flipped to the side, grabbed the phone in his hand, and opened the treasure chest. Body-tempering pill extracted. An exquisite jade bottle appeared in his hands, but Yi Zichen had no time to admire it. He poured out the golden pill from the bottle and threw it directly into his mouth. Bang! Power surged through Yi Zichen's limbs and bones, and his eyes began to glow with a faint golden light. Super Saiyan. Yi Zichen didn't know if it was yellow hair or red hair who shouted, but he couldn't help but snort coldly. I actually let you discover the secret that I am an Namekian. It seems that I can't let you live. Super Saiyan, transform. He raised his hand and punched, breaking the blondie's baseball bat in half. Yi Zichen didn't hesitate either. He punched and kicked, and in less than a minute, all of the delinquents were beaten to the ground. Plop. Brother, I didn't know you were Super Saiyan. I promise I won't leak any information about you being a Namekian, and you'll spare my life. Yellow Hair knelt on the ground with tears and snot. Yi Zichen was truly shocked. Although his underlings hadn't received any systematic training, they were still good at fighting. Their attacks were also extremely ruthless. But damn, how long has it been? Look at the group of little brothers behind him. They're all lying there howling. Pooh! Yi Zichen nearly burst out in laughter. This kid's IQ is truly worrying. He must have watched too much Dragon Ball. They really thought of him as a Super Saiyan, but it was fun to play with him. Are you sure you won't leak it? Don't try to lie. I have a way to know what you're thinking. A golden gleam flashed across Goldie's eyes as his body trembled. He peed. I really won't say it. I definitely won't say it. I swear. Even if he peed, the yellow-haired man acted as if he didn't know anything. He raised 3 fingers and swore. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth in disdain, then pointed at Red Hair's clothes. Uh-huh. I really didn't lie. Go change, then send me to Polytechnic University. Yi Zichen drove the taxi back to school. Although Yellow Hair had changed his clothes, he still smelled a bit. Yi Zichen rolled down the window. Even if he couldn't take it, he had to put up with it. It's because there aren't any cars here. Big bro, are all you Namekians Super Saiyans? You're still bringing this up. Although Yi Zichen couldn't help but laugh, he had to continue acting. Yes. Yi Zichen's expression was cold. Yi Zichen said coldly. Yellow Hair snuck a glance at Yi Zichen. Big bro, can you accept me as your subordinate? I haven't missed a single episode of any of the Dragon Ball series. I've always had a dream of becoming a Super Saiyan in my heart. He truly was a fanatic of Dragon Ball. He was completely king shocked. I can, but I have to ask you something. Big bro, say it. Yellow Hair nodded frantically. Is it a person called Fu Chengming who told you to come find me? Yi Zichen thought about it as he sat in the car. It seemed like he was the only one who had a grudge against him and the motive to attack him. Yeah, big bro, how did you know? Yellow Hair was shocked. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth, then grabbed Yellow Hair's shoulder and said with a solemn expression, Didn't you want to follow me? The organization is going to give you a mission right now. Big bro, say, Fu Qingming is actually an android sent by the evil forces. He has always wanted to destroy the friendship between planet Namek and Earth. Your mission is to keep an eye on him and report the situation to me. Hearing that, Yellow Hair's expression tensed up. He didn't think that the organization would actually give him such an important mission. Androids. I hate them the most. For the tribe. Bro, you went to the wrong place, all right. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. After Yellow Hair sent Yi Zichen to school, he drove the taxi away. When he left, he even promised Yi Zichen that he would keep a close eye on the androids. Yi Zichen didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he met such a dumb person. However, he couldn't help but mention that old Lord Taishan's body-enhancing pill was truly amazing. After the pill entered his body, Yi Zichen felt that all of his body's functions were continuously developed. In terms of reaction speed, the current him was at least a level higher than normal people. When Yi Zichen returned to the dormitory, he saw his roommates were fighting in Demacia, as he expected. F***CK, OL5 is back. Hurry, come over and help me play. My stomach hurts a lot. The moment Yi Zichen entered the room, Kong Peng immediately stood up while holding his stomach and ran out. Yi Zichen sat in front of Kong Peng's computer under everyone's greeting. Go up, Raven. Actually, Yi Zichen had always played the support position in the dormitory. The main reason was because he was too terrible. The people in the dormitory wouldn't let him play the other positions. Even though he was playing for him now, Zhu Yunbai couldn't help but pour cold water on him. Third bro, if you really can't do it, then go down the tower. It's fine as long as you don't give the opposing sword lady a kill. Yeah, OL 3, don't give the opposing sword lady a kill, okay? The opposing sword lady has a rather high win rate. She might be a substitute leveler. Don't give her a kill. Everyone in the dormitory said pretty much the same thing. Yi Zichen couldn't retort when he thought about his previous stats, so he could only twitch his mouth. All right, both sides hadn't sent out their troops yet. Yi Zichen stood under the tower and thought about looking at Raven's walkthrough. He didn't expect the opposing sword lady to directly stand in front of him and start to mock him. F***CK, I definitely can't tolerate this. Yi Zichen learned the broken wings dance and jumped over. The sword lady's ignite did not even need to touch Yi Zichen's Raven. She directly faced it head-on. They exchanged skills. After a wave of head-on, the sword lady's health dropped to the bottom. The opponent also realized that the situation wasn't good, so she turned around and ran. Run. Yi Zichen flashed. Chapter 22. The Grey Knight of the Goddess of Training Light, Speed Blood. Everyone in the dorm was shocked as they looked at Yi Zichen, who calmly prepared to return to the city to restock. In the past, if Yi Zichen didn't kill his opponents, they would have to burn incense and pray to Buddha. This time, he had actually taken a blood. This was a bit of a pinnacle of their worldview. The opposing sword mistress is too weak. OL5 took a hit. Cousin is fighting? Oh my god! Yi Zichen was shocked as well. Indeed, he'd never encountered such a situation before. Could it be that the other side was really played by his cousin? At the same time, the Alliance opened their voice chat. Goddess, what's going on? Did the Transcendent Master let a gold assassin kill him? Astonished exclamations could be heard from the open voice chat. They were all part of a fixed leveling group that had gathered together from all over the world. The one controlling the sword mistress was the only female in the team. She was a Transcendent Master, and everyone in the circle called her the Booster Goddess. I was distracted just now. The Booster Goddess replied vaguely. She blushed a little as she spoke. In truth, she had been fighting with all her heart, but for some reason, her opponent had dodged all of her skills. His opponent's movements could also be described as smooth and fluid. He did not seem like a gold-tier player at all. Could it be that he's also a substitute leveler? Suspicions arose in the substitute goddess heart. However, so what if it was a substitute? She was a master who had fought with her bare hands. Even if she encountered a substitute, she would not be afraid. Watch me beat him up properly this time. The Booster Goddess sneered, and the people in the black voice chat immediately chimed in. This group of people had been working together for a long time, so they knew each other's strengths very well. The Booster Goddess was the strongest in their team. The team had complete confidence in her. But friendly hero has been killed. Not even 3 minutes into the match, the Booster Goddess was disgraced again. EZ, what's going on? Another solo kill. Damn, it can't be. Could it be that third bro has a talent for top landing? His roommates raised their eyebrows. At the same time, the opposing team's voice chat caused a huge uproar. Goddess, have you been drinking? Goddess, don't panic. Wait for me to gank. The Booster Goddess fell silent as she looked at the black screen. That shouldn't be the case. She was a master. I don't believe it. At the same time, Kong Peng returned from a bathroom. The moment they entered the room, Yi Zichen handed Rui one to him. Not bad, Yi Zi. You killed two? It must be the cousin playing on the other side. Pooh. Yi Zichen's expression darkened. As expected, there was no way he could make a comeback in the League of Legends in the dorm. The top lane had two players, especially Rui when against Sword Mistress, which could be said to be a huge advantage. Kong Peng swore that he would destroy the other side. Boss, what's the situation? Even Leaf could kill him. How could you let someone kill you when your equipment is so overwhelming? Everyone in the dorm ridiculed Kong Peng, and the booster team burst into laughter. My goddess mode is back. The Booster Goddess smirked. She knew it. How could a Transcendent Master like her lose to the opponent. She had been too careless in the beginning. Immediately afterward, the booster goddess single-handedly killed Kong Peng's Rue one 4 times. The dormitory was filled with complaints. Kong Peng was also angry. He pushed the keyboard inwards and cursed. F***CK, the other side is definitely leveling for me. How about I go up and try? Yi Zichen was a bit eager. When he was controlling Rue 1 just now, he felt that his hand speed and reaction speed had a clear increase. It was very clear that the body-tempering pill was effective. Then go ahead and try. Kong Peng's mentality was also broken by someone, so he decided to let Yi Zichen play for him. Goddess, what happened to you now? Yi Zichen directly killed Sword Mistress in less than a minute. Mistake. However, not even a minute later, when the booster goddess reached the top lane, she died again. Just like that, Yi Zichen killed the booster goddess 3 or 4 times, then supported the bottom lane and mid lane a few times. Top lane Rue when directly got married. The game ended. This game was brought up purely by Yi Zichen's own strength. In other words, it was one god with 4 pitfalls. After the game ended, the beautiful stats were right there. Furthermore, Kong Peng was crushed by the other side. No matter how stupid the people in the dorm were, they could guess that Yi Zichen was truly strong and that the other side was definitely not just playing around. Come, let's start another round. Easy, continue. No stories without coincidences. Although the booster team lost the game, no one blamed the booster goddess. They merely thought that the goddess wasn't in a good state. Yi Zichen cheered them on in the voice chat. Then the game started once again. Crash, it's the other side again. Dorm 2016 and the booster team both spoke at the same time. So what if it's a crash? Beat them up, Yi Zichen said confidently. At the same time, the booster goddess also squinted her eyes when she saw Yi Zichen's ID. This time, she chose to be a top laner again. Her hero was Blade Girl, a strong top laner hero in the version. Yi Zichen used Hansen. If nothing went wrong, his hero would definitely be beaten up. This time, I'm definitely going to avenge myself. The booster goddess swore silently in her heart, then directly swung Doran's sword. What was unexpected was that Yi Zichen's Hansen did the same. When the strong collided, there would definitely be injuries. Yes, the booster goddess was beaten up by Yi Zichen again. Yi Zichen carried the entire game once again. The booster goddess, who was beaten up twice, directly said with a dark expression in the voice chat, "I'm not playing anymore. My condition isn't good. Find someone else to drive." With that, the booster goddess exited the voice chat. She clenched her teeth and chose to add Yi Zichen as a friend when she saw her pitiful stats. Old friend sent you a friend request. Accept. Yi Zichen. What, you want to scold me? Old friend. Do you dare to tell me your WeChat? I feel like you're using support. I want to solo you offline. Yi Zichen. You're so childish. What? You want to trash me online? Old friend. I'm just asking if you dare or not. Yi Zichen. I don't dare. After sending that message, Yi Zichen directly deleted the booster goddess as a friend and added her to the blacklist. What did I say to you just now? Kong Peng came over with a curious expression. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Idiot wants to solo me offline. I can tell with one glance that he's underage. I don't even want to talk to him. Huh, then he's rather idiotic. You're still going to fight? Fight your ass. What time is it? Go to sleep. Yi Zichen pushed the keyboard away, then ran to the bed and laid down. What Yi Zichen didn't know was that at the same time, in a certain female dormitory in the Polytechnic University, a rather sweet-looking girl with a bit of baby fat sat cross-legged on a chair and looked at the account that had disappeared from her friend list, as well as the conversation that had not been closed. Chapter 23. I picked up a dog while the professor was lecturing. Yi Zichen was sleeping at the back of the classroom. It couldn't be helped. He had planned to rest the previous night, but he was dragged to an internet cafe near the school by the animals in his dorm to play games for the entire night. To be honest, he was rather energetic when he was playing games, but he instantly felt tired the moment he got to school. He slept for the entire morning. Yi Zichen. Just as Yi Zichen was sleeping soundly, he felt someone carefully push his arm. Yi Zichen opened his eyes in a daze and saw a girl whose looks could barely be rated as 80 standing in front of him. Looking for me? Yi Zichen didn't seem to know this girl, but the girl nodded with certainty. Yes. What are you looking for me for? A hint of shyness surfaced on the girl's face. Can I ask you out for lunch? A girl asked him out. Yi Zichen was very confused. This sort of situation had never happened before. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen actually didn't know how to reply. No, Rish bro has a date at noon. The weird Xia Kiki popped out from nowhere and hugged Yi Zichen's arm, then blinked her bright eyes toward the girl. Then at night, not at night either, Rish bro has a date at night. The girl bit her lips and glared at Xia Kiki, then ran out of the classroom. Yi Zichen looked awkwardly at Xia Kiki hugging his arm. Although Xia Kiki had a lowly face, she was very well developed in the places that should be developed. Yi Zichen was able to clearly feel the outline of Xia Kiki's chest since she didn't wear much in the summer. Rish bro, you've been very popular recently. Xia Kiki hugged Yi Zichen's arm and smiled at him as if nothing had happened. Shouldn't you let go? Yi Zichen glanced at her. A hint of slyness flashed across Xia Kiki's eyes. Then she rubbed against his arm before letting go. This damn girl. Yi Zichen cursed silently in his heart. He had a very shameless reaction just now. Rish bro, as a man, you can't not have a bit of self-control. Hearing that, Yi Zichen's expression darkened. Would I be like this if you didn't tease me? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at Xia Kiki, then said unhappily, Why are you looking for me? Hee, tyrant bro is so petty. I'm just joking. Xia Kiki's eyes narrowed into crescents. Then she crossed her arms and lowered her head. I want to treat Rish bro to lunch. I wonder if Rish bro can do me the honor. To be honest, Yi Zichen rolled his eyes to the sky. Xia Kiki noticed that she couldn't trick him, so she twitched her mouth in boredom. There's an uncle outside the school who wants to be my girlfriend. I told him that I have a boyfriend, but he doesn't believe me. Can you help me? I'll give you one. How many? Tyrant bro, that's not the point, okay? Xia Kiki revealed a helpless expression. Yi Zichen quickly waved his hand apologetically. Sorry. But how much did that uncle pay? I'm just curious how much you're worth. How much would you give me? Xia Kiki put on a cute look once again, causing Yi Zichen to feel a chill down his spine as he reached out 2 fingers. 200,000? Pooh. Yi Zichen nearly choked. 20, no more than that. Go and die. Unable to endure this lady's pestering, Yi Zichen still ended up following her to a coffee shop. How much longer does that uncle need? Yi Zichen asked as he scrolled through the WeChat group. The WeChat group seemed to have fallen into a period of silence once again. The last message was sent at 10 in the morning. Yi Zichen scrolled up the messages. A total of 3 deities sent red packets. Yi Zichen clicked on all of the red packets out of habit. Although he knew that there were definitely no more left, he still enjoyed it. He might have gotten a lucky one. But to be honest, Yi Zichen really did get one this time. You received the Howling Celestial Dog's red packet. Yi Zichen's heart raced when he saw that he could still snatch it, but when he saw that it was the Howling Celestial Dog, no wonder no one tried to snatch it. It was sent by a dog. Eliminated dog from the Celestial Poodle Trials X1. F*CK eliminated. Yi Zichen's face was nearly filled with disdain. It should be soon. He said he was on the way when I called him just now. Xia Kiki clearly wasn't interested in that uncle. She held her chin with her hands and blinked as she stared straight at Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen, who was about to scroll through his moments, felt her gaze. He subconsciously gulped, then put away his phone and took a step back. What's with that look? I'm just curious. Why would Susu like someone like you? You're not especially handsome, and you don't seem to be very rich. You also seem to be a slacker in terms of academics. Why can't I see anything special about you? Xia Kiki tilted her head and looked at Yi Zichen curiously. Yi Zichen knew that nothing good would come out of Xia Kiki's mouth, so he just ignored the rest of what she said. You said that Su Yan likes me? She told you that? Don't think too much into it. I'm just guessing. Xia Kiki rolled her eyes at Yi Zichen. I just saw that Susu never interacted with that boy before, so I was curious when you suddenly appeared. Tisk. Yi Zichen gave her a look of disdain. Oh yeah, why don't you just find a boyfriend? What's the point of making me take the fall? If I want to find a boyfriend, Then I have to find someone who is better at League of Legends than me. Then wouldn't it be easier to find one? Yi Zichen shrugged. Most girls in League of Legends were gold or silver. It was already very difficult to find a platinum or diamond. Polytechnic University was filled with talents. It was too easy to find someone of diamond or above. Easy to find. This lady is a transcendent master. Okay? Xiaokiki raised her delicate chin and said proudly. In this Polytechnic University, there isn't anyone that can enter this lady's eyes. Yi Zichen was instantly shocked. He looked at Xiaokiki like he was looking at a monster. Transcendent master. And such a beautiful girl at that. What level are you? Xiaokiki felt indescribably proud when she saw Yi Zichen's shocked expression. Gold. Yi Zichen answered honestly. Noob. Wait until this lady is in a good mood, then I'll take you up. It's easier for boys to pick up girls when their levels are higher. Xiaokiki patted Yi Zichen's shoulders like a big brother, causing him to smile wryly. Then just take me up at night. No, I haven't been in the mood recently. I got beaten up by someone yesterday, so I need to relieve some stress. Xiaokiki revealed a depressed expression when she mentioned that. Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile when he saw that. Girls were just emotional. The people that Transcendent Masters met were definitely people of similar levels. Wasn't it normal for them to get beaten up? Just when Yi Zichen wanted to comfort her and tell her not to get into a dead end, he saw Xiaokiki smile slightly. Chapter 24. Take him away. Yi Zichen turned around. At the entrance of the cafe, a ball-shaped object appeared in his line of sight. After taking 2 steps, his forehead was covered in sweat. His physique seemed to be slightly weak. He needed to take some medicine to nourish his kidneys. Beauty, I'm here. The fatty spoke with a foreign accent. Yi Zichen couldn't help but think of the word nouveau riche when he saw the huge gold chain and ring. Boss, didn't you want to see my boyfriend? He's my boyfriend. Xiaokiki blinked her bright eyes coquettishly, then pointed with her finger. Yi Zichen also stood up. The main reason why Fatty looked like a ball was because of his height. From the looks of it, he was only around 1.65 meters tall. Yi Zichen was 1.86 meters, so he was a head taller than him when he stood up. Fatty, I heard that you want to keep my girlfriend? How much did you give her? Let me see if it's worth it. The moment Yi Zichen finished, Xiaokiki twisted his waist. I asked you to come here to be my shield. What are you trying to say? When Yi Zichen stood up, the fatty was also a bit scared. However, upon hearing his words, Green Bean's eyes flashed with disdain. Poor students will always be poor students. Brat, you want money, right? Why do you care if I'm after money or not? I'm asking how much money you have. Fatty raised his hand and extended 5 fingers. 50,000. Yi Zichen subconsciously glanced at Xiaokiki. He didn't think that this girl was worth so much. 50,000. It was almost the size of a small periphery. Xiaokiki bit her lips. Was this guy even listening to her? Why did she feel like she was about to jump into a fire pit? As expected, you want to be my girlfriend's girlfriend for 50,000? Look at her figure, and she's a top student from the Polytechnic University. She's both beautiful and intelligent, and you want to be her girlfriend for 50,000? Then how much do you want? 500,000. If you're willing to spend 500,000 on my girlfriend, I will give her to you. Yi Zichen waved his hand generously, but the fatty's eyes turned green when he heard that. Impossible. If it's impossible, then scram. What kind of university student are you if you don't have a wallet? Coward. Yi Zichen said in disdain. The fatty squinted his eyes. All right, little bro, don't you just want money? To be honest, I feel sorry for this beauty. She actually found a boyfriend like you. How about this? I'll pay 200,000. That's the price of a C-list celebrity. 200,000. Yi Zichen revealed a look of hesitation. Seeing that, the disdain in the fatty's eyes became even more obvious. Poor students will always be poor students. After a long time, deal. Yi Zichen directly decided. Xiaokiki was completely stunned. She was sold just like that. Fatty took out a card from his pocket with a look of disdain. There's 2 million in this card. Enough for half a year. Tis TSK, the boss is so generous. Yi Zichen picked up the card with a greedy look, but Xiaokiki slapped it down. What are you doing? Xia Kiki grabbed Yi Zichen's arm with a nervous expression. Wife, it's 200,000. Be content. That's right, beauty. Tell me, what's the use of following a man like this? Why don't you follow me? I guarantee that you'll be able to enjoy wealth and glory in the future. The fatty persuaded on the side, causing Xia Kiki's face to twitch. Yi Zichen rubbed his hands and picked up the card. This money is mine, right? Yes. The fatty nodded. Then, Yi Zichen directly chucked the card onto the table. You took my girlfriend away, so you have to let me have a woman, right? How about this? Give me your daughter's back. 50,000 a month, that's for 2 years. Brat, you're King messing with me. The fatty glared at him. Yi Zichen shrugged with a smile. You just found out? Do you believe that I'll find someone to kill you? The fatty's eyes shone with a fierce light. Yi Zichen shrunk his neck and pretended to be scared. Ah, I'm so scared. Slap. Yi Zichen slapped the fatty's mouth, causing him to spin on the spot. Then, he kicked the fatty's stomach. Dong! The fatty crashed into the coffee shop's wall with a loud sound. The loud sound instantly shocked everyone in the coffee shop. Young Master Yi. A figure suddenly walked out from the crowd of customers. Yi Zichen glanced over. It was director by the Stone Gambling Hall Bai Dahai. The fatty, who crashed into the wall, also shouted when he saw Bai Dahai. Bai Ji, save me. Lil Zhao. Bai Dahai was stunned, then looked around the fatty and Yi Zichen. What? You want to meddle in other people's business? Bai Dahai did want to be a mediator, but when he saw the coldness in Yi Zichen's eyes, he directly swallowed the words that were at the tip of his tongue. I don't dare. This was young Master Su's friend. He couldn't offend him. If you don't dare, then CK off to the side. Yi Zichen pushed Bai Dahai to the side and walked towards the fatty. As Yi Zichen got closer, the fatty's shouts towards Bai Dahai became even more urgent. Bai Dahai shook his head. Lil Zhao. Young Master Yi is young Master Su's friend. Although I don't know how you offended this lord, big bro can't help you. Young Master Su. The fatty instantly withered like a frosted eggplant. They all knew very well just who young Master Su was. All of a sudden, the fatty quickly kneeled on the ground and begged. Young Master Yi, please let me go. Slap. Yi Zichen mercilessly slapped the fatty's face. Now you know to call young Master Yi and beg? Why didn't you call him young Master Yi when you were stealing Lousy's woman just now? Oh yeah, didn't want to find someone to kill me? What happened to your viciousness just now? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and revealed a demonic smile. The fatty's pupils twitched intensely as he gulped and begged on the ground. The sirens of the police cars sounded out. Yi Zichen looked out the window and saw 2 police cars parked outside the coffee shop. It seemed like someone in the coffee shop called the police. Yi Zichen reached out his hand and patted the fatty's face as he looked at the fatty, who had been beaten into a pig's head. The police are here. You're safe. But, do you know what to say later? No. Dao. The fatty couldn't even speak properly after being beaten by Yi Zichen, so Yi Zichen also sat down on a chair. How is it, wife? Are you satisfied with what I did? Xia Kiki was a bit shocked the moment Yi Zichen made his move. She had found him to be a shield, but she didn't think that it would turn out like this. However, she didn't dislike it at all, and even felt that he was rather handsome. Police! At that moment, the police outside also rushed in. One of the female police officers shouted when they saw the fatty, who was beaten black and blue at the door. Who hit you? Yi Zichen whistled as he looked up at the sky. A hint of struggle flashed across the fatty's eyes as he clenched his teeth. Officer, I fell by myself. Even a 3-year-old could tell that this was a lie. The police officer scanned the people around the fatty. The bloodstains on Yi Zichen's pants were immediately noticed by the police officer. Chapter 25. Release him. The light from the interrogation room shone on Yi Zichen's face, causing him to squint his eyes uncomfortably. Slap. The female police officer walked in from outside the interrogation room and slammed the notebook onto the table. Confess. Hearing that, Yi Zichen looked up. Why didn't he think that the female police officer would directly bring him over just like that? Yi Zichen swept his gaze over the female police officer's face. It had to be said, this police officer was rather pretty. She had a proper oval face and her long black hair was tied into a ponytail. Even though her face was completely cold, it did not affect her beauty. "Officer, I don't have anything to confess." "Sure, stubborn." The police officer smiled slightly, then opened the notebook and took out a pen to start the formal questioning. "Name." When the police officer asked for the other party's name, "Shouldn't you report your family first?" Yizichin raised his eyebrows and smiled. The female police officer slammed the table, causing him to quiver. "Do you believe that I'll directly lock you up for obstructing official business? Why are you so violent?" Yizichin twitched his mouth. "At least tell me your surname." "Lin." "Oh, Officer Lin, I'm called Yizichin." "Age?" 20. "Gender?" Yizichin paused for a moment. He couldn't help but think of the joke that people got sick of. "How about I take it off for you to see? Take it off and see for yourself." Officer Lin didn't respond at all. She thought that she would be able to anger the other party like in novels, but she directly kicked the ball back to her. "Male. Why did you hit him?" "Officer Lin, this is a bit of slander. The fatty already told you himself just now that he fell by himself. Why do you have to frame me and say that I hit him?" Yizichin said helplessly. "Heh, don't pretend to be innocent. The reason the victim said that might be because he was threatened earlier. Don't beat around the bush, just confess." Officer Lin stared straight at Yizichin, as if she wanted to see through his heart. "I didn't." Yizichin was stubborn to the end. If he confesses, then he would have to stay at the detention center for at least half a month. "How long do you think you can pretend? The victim has already been sent to the hospital by us. With the protection of the police, it won't take long for the victim to confess to you. Anyway, I didn't fight." Yizichin acted shamelessly with her, then glanced at Officer Lin's chest. 36C, it's really nice." Officer Lin slammed the table and stood up, while Yizichin also shrunk back with his eyes wide open. "What? The police are going to beat me up?" Beating you up is just beating up scum." Officer Lin's fist cracked, while she walked towards Yizichin step by step with a cold expression. "The police are beating people up. Susu, I'm sorry. Tycoon Bro was taken to the police station to be my shield." Siakiki pouted pitifully as she made the call. The person on the other side of the phone was stunned for a moment before saying nervously, "What about him?" "I don't know, but that police officer looks very fierce to me. I don't know if Tyrant Bro will suffer in there." "All right, I got it." Pa. The call was directly hung up. Siakiki stood outside the police station and took a few glances inside. After a moment of hesitation, she dialed a number on her phone. "Officer Lin, don't forget your identity. Even if I'm a criminal, you can't be rough with me. Otherwise, I'll get my lawyer to send a lawyer's letter to your police station." Yizichin gulped as he half warned and half threatened. God knows what this crazy woman would do to him. Right now, his hands were still cuffed, so even if he got beaten up, he could only endure it. "Don't worry, we have a lot of ways to make you feel pain, but we can't find any injuries." Officer Lin walked towards Yizichin step by step like a little demon. The moment she raised her hand, Yizichin instantly cowered. "I'll confess." Wouldn't it have been fine if you had just confessed earlier?" Officer Lin smiled proudly and returned to the table. "Say it." Bang. Just as Officer Lin picked up her pen, the interrogation room's door was smashed open. "Officer Lin, there's a call. I'm interrogating a criminal. It's the station chief." Officer Lin threw her pen to the side angrily and snorted, "I'll deal with you when I get back." "Station chief. Lil Lin, did our station arrest a Mr. Yi?" Officer Lin's expression changed after hearing that. "Yes." The person on the other side of the phone clearly paused for a moment, then said in a very urgent tone, "Hurry up and release that Mr. Yi." "But he didn't intentionally." "Lil Lin, this is an order from above. What's more, the military also requested us to immediately release that Mr. Yi just now. Do you understand?" Officer Lin held the phone and hesitated for a long time, then couldn't help but sigh. "Understood." After hanging up, Officer Lin looked at the police officer beside her. "What did the victim say?" "The victim insisted that he fell down by himself, and that it has nothing to do with the suspect." "Creak. Release him." Yizichin swaggered out of the interrogation room, but before he left, he even ran in front of Officer Lin shamelessly. "Beauty, I'm leaving. Don't miss me. Don't let me catch you here." "Hee, why are you so angry?" "If women get angry easily, then my Annie will bleed." Yi Zichen made a face towards Officer Lin, causing her to clench her teeth in anger. Officer Lin couldn't help but clench her fist as she looked at Yi Zichen's cocky back. "Give me all of the information regarding Yi Zichen and send it to my office." When Yi Zichen walked out of the police station, his mood could only be described with 2 words. Relaxed. Rish bro. Xia Kiki, who had been guarding the entrance of the police station, directly leaped into Yi Zichen's arms. Yi Zichen subconsciously caught her, only to see that the little lowly in his arms was already crying. "You scare me to death just now. How big of a deal is it? Your mental endurance is so weak, I really don't know how you managed to reach master level." This lady relied on skills. Xia Kiki immediately put on a proud and stubborn expression when Yi Zichen mentioned League of Legends. However, she, who was still crying, stuttered her words. All right, it's skills. Keek's League skills are the best." "Of course." Xia Kiki wrinkled her nose and raised her head stubbornly. She looked at Yi Zichen's smiling face in shock, then tiptoed. Smooch. A warm kiss was left on Yi Zichen's cheek. When he turned around in shock, he saw Xia Kiki wipe her tears with a giggle. "This was this lady's first kiss. We don't owe each other anything. Don't use this to threaten me in the future." Ding dong. Yi Zichen's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 26. Marriage String snapped. Your affability level with Su Yin decreased by 40. Current affability level 0. Marriage string snapped. It actually wasn't Xia Kik's marriage string. Yi Zichen felt a bit disappointed. This little lowly was very pleasing to the eye, and her weird look was also very likable. Wait, that's not the main point, all right? Su Yan's marriage string snapped. Yi Zichen frantically opened the treasure chest on his phone. As expected, there was only one marriage string left in the treasure chest. Su Yan's marriage string had already disappeared. Just what happened? Why did Su Yan's affability level suddenly drop to 0? Could it be that she saw Xia Kiki just now? Yi Zichen quickly searched the surroundings in order to find Su Yan. At that moment, on the street opposite the police station, Su Yan called a taxi and got in. "Su Yan!" Yi Zichen shouted, but the taxi door had already closed and left. Did Susu come? Xia Kiki, who didn't know anything, blinked and looked around. "No, why don't I see Susu? You're hallucinating, right?" Su Yan saw you kiss me just now." Her affability level dropped to 0. Affability level dropped to 0? Xia Kiki was confused. Yi Zichen rubbed his aching head and didn't know what to say. He couldn't tell her that he had Yu Lao's marriage string and knew the affability level with Su Yan, right? Never mind. Let's go back to school. Oh. When Yi Zichen returned to the dorm, his roommates were still fighting on the front lines of the Dre Alliance. The moment he entered the room, his roommates invited him eagerly, but he refused. "Gay my ass. The goddess is going to leave me." "All right." Yi Zichen clicked open his WeChat chat with Yu Lao and directly sent a row of angry emojis. "Celestial friend, what happened?" "Mine Su Yan's marriage string snapped." "Yu Lao, can you reconnect the two of us?" "Allow me to go and check." Not long later, Yu Lao sent another message. "The marriage string did snap, but I'm only acting as a middleman for this marriage. Since it snapped, it means that you aren't fated yet. A forceful melon isn't sweet. I can't." All right, I understand." While Yi Zichen was extremely annoyed, Yu Lao sent another message. "The treasure fellow Taoist gave me is almost gone. I wonder, scan. Send. Yu Lao has received your red packet. Take it and smoke it. Stop bothering me." After sending Yu Lao away, Yi Zichen sat on the bed without moving. It wasn't easy for him to connect with Su Yan, but it was broken by a free combination of factors. Just like that, the goddess left him. Yi Zichen's heart crumbled. At the same time, in Su Yan's dorm, Xia Kiki skipped into the dorm and saw Su Yan sitting on the sofa in a daze. "Susu, what are you doing?" "Kiki, you're back." When Su Yan saw Xia Kiki, a dark light flashed through her eyes. "Yeah, I've been waiting for Tyrant Bro at the police station. I'm so tired." Xia Kiki casually kicked off her shoes and lay down on the bed, then rolled a few times on the bed. Tycoon bro just told me that he saw you at the police station. Did you go there just now? Why didn't I see you? I didn't. Su Yin shook her head. I told you, Tycoon bro must have been hallucinating. Xiaokiki turned around and stretched lazily, then sat down in front of the computer. I'm going to continue fighting. There are still quite a few jobs that I haven't finished. Kiki. At that moment, Su Yin spoke up once again, but then stopped. Xiaokiki raised her eyebrows in confusion. Su Yin also bit her lips. What do you think about Yi Zichen? Xiaokiki blinked, then suddenly laughed. Very good. I feel very safe when I'm with him. Is that so? Hearing Xiaokiki's reply, Su Yan's face suddenly turned pale, while she forced a smile. Should I explain to Su Yin or not? Yi Zichen clicked open his chat with Su Yin. After hesitating for a long time, he did not send a single word. So annoying. Yi Zichen rubbed his temples and frowned as he laid on the bed. After struggling countless times, he chose to leave the chat. So what if I explain? Explaining is just hiding it. A bright red 1 appeared in his contact list. Yi Zichen clicked it open. New friend. Howling Celestial Dog has sent you a friend request. Why did this dog add me? Yi Zichen ignored the friend request, but at that moment his phone vibrated. Erlang Shun has sent you a friend request. What is this for? Accept. The moment he accepted, a message appeared on Yi Zichen's WeChat. Erlang Shun, you're so cocky, you actually dared to leave this god hanging for so long. Is there something wrong with your brain? I just sent you a friend request, and you added me. Yi Zichen looked at the intimacy level. 0. Cold. At that moment, Erlang Shun sent another message. All right, you're playing dead with me, right? Do you believe that I won't tear down your house with the howling celestial dog? This be asterisk TCH is a shrew. Yi Zichen thought back to the large-scale fights in the chat group. It seems like Erlang Shun was the one who started them all. If it was before, Yi Zichen would definitely be terrified. But now that his goddess had just left him, he was in an extremely bad mood. You need something? You're not playing dead anymore. If you have something to fart about, then say it. Stop blabbering with me. This god is very busy. I don't have time for a small fry like you. You're very cocky. Say your celestial title. See if Lousy doesn't beat the shit out of you. Say your ass. Slap. Yi Zichen directly deleted him. Ding dong. Erlang Shun has sent you a friend request. Who cares about you? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Someone did. In less than a minute, Yi Zichen saw that Erlang Shun had actually added him in the group. F*CKU. Yi Zichen's hairs stood up. This grandson truly started a fight at the slightest disagreement. Yi Zichen clicked open the WeChat group. Erlang Shun. Only idealism, little bastard. You actually dared to delete Lousy. Don't play dead with Lousy. Say your celestial title. God of Thunder. Erlang Shun started a fight again. Mother of Lightning. Spectating. Immortality, Peach Fairy. I'm going to look at the garden right now. I don't have time to look. What a pity. Jade Rabbit. Selling white radishes, water radishes, and big radishes in the front row. The deities all moved out to spectate the fight. Erlang Shun. Only idealism. Weren't you very cocky just now? Come, keep acting in front of Lousy. Why are you scared? I told you to say your celestial title. Don't play dead. Erlang Shun. Only idealism. Erlang Shun. Only idealism. All of a sudden, the entire screen was filled with Erlang Shun Yi Zichen. Sure, Erlang Shun was forcing him to abdicate. He had been famous in the celestial realm for a long time. Even the victorious fighting Buddha and the Monkey King were evenly matched with him. In terms of battle prowess, he was indeed undefeatable. However, speaking of a button fight, I'm a young man who has lived in my country for more than 20 years and read several tens of thousands of jokes. How could I be scared of you?